Hello, everybody. Welcome to this off-the-cuff live stream with 3W and Sean, who I don't think we've not streamed Sean. We've not streamed together.
Not yet.
No, but I have streamed with 3W on Party
Nation.
Party Nation. So how's everybody doing? It's Tuesday. What's up?
Good, good.
Doing good. Yeah.
Just chilling, not just hanging out. So the internet's been blown up.
Yeah, as it does.
For a little bit over a certain individual. So he responded, but then he made it worse because he went on TMZ and kind of backtracked his thoughts because he's like, here are my points.
Yeah.
One, I support my union. Of course, I support my union. Strikes, it's unfortunate. I didn't vote for it, but whatever. And then went on TMZ. Well, I'm willing to cross a line, if it's going to help the process. And it's not fair to people who have their projects coming out. Like, well,
I mean, I get that, but only scabs cross the lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, see, when I met the dude at Planet Comic-Con some years ago, and he was still doing Arrow, he seemed like a very decent, genuine dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, Chainsaw, you're the one that posted the video earlier today with him and Dave Ramsey, right? Like shortly after the strike was announced. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, because like someone said, well, this was filmed before the rules were in place. No. Without rules being put in place, you automatically know as soon as a strike is happening, you cannot talk about struck work.
Yeah, because he emphasized talking about Arrow, like in that video. He's like, Arrow.
And then David Ramsey like jumped in too, saying, yeah, fuck it, yeah, let's talk. And I'm like, and I also noticed this too. The panel he was a part of, where the comment came from. First of all, he was saying, I talked for over an hour at this panel. It was the first question asked.
Yeah.
The very first thing. And the majority of the questions were not even about any of the shows. It may have been surrounding it, but it wasn't like a direct reference to Arrow, which is normally what his panels are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny how 2 days after the strike's implemented, let's talk about Arrow. Fuck it, let's do it. And then here it's like the panelists just make sure we're not talking about struck work. But from what I'm understanding, he was openly kind of suggesting like promoting heels when he's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that all seems kind of suspect to me. It's kind of weird.
And he wasn't being like sneaky. He was being completely obvious.
Yeah. Someone posted like a video where he was behind him was a heels billboard, and he's talking about it. Then he's posting a photo of a billboard, across the street or something.
Mm-hmm.
It says feeling grateful or something, and it's clearly an image of a street, but it's like clear he has the hills, billboard in the frame.
And also the video of him just like talking to the fans and then turning ever so slightly to where the heels billboard is behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I think he reposted a Threads photo of him and somebody who was wearing his character's names like wrestling jacket, and it's very clearly that's his way of like, oh, it's a fan interaction, but heels. It's like
promotion.
Yeah, which he's not supposed to be doing. And then someone said, well, what if it's a contractual thing? Mm-hmm. No, even like that's still like there's no contract. Like you're obligated to do based off you signing on to the show, but it's not like where the studio specifically got him to sign a contract, a new thing to promote the show. That's already within his deal, but now that's null and void because of the strike.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is essential. I mean, things are being like chopped up like and canceled right now because of the strike. Studios are just being like The Witcher. They're like I'm hearing rumors that they're just after this other season premieres with Henry Cavill. I guess it already did maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're just like, the two more that we were going to do with the Hemsworth dude, let's just call it a day, So studios they're chopping all this stuff up, and so Steven needs to be careful, man, because breaking all these rules, he can come back and find himself out of a job.
Well, also he might not be able to find work.
Exactly.
Because he won't have union rep behind him. And
Mhm.
also too, let's say, okay, the strike ends in a couple of weeks or whatever, because now it seems like the studios are trying their best to get back to the table with the actors and writers, which is great.
Yeah.
Let's say that it gets done. Season 3 rolls around of Heels. They renew it for season 3. Are those actors who are not contracted to return, are they going to come back? Are new actors are they going to be seeking out Heels as an option for a job? Do they want to be associated with Stephen Amell?
That's a great question.
And I think the answer is no. Because as Canada was saying last night, he was making a joke, but it's like, let's say they're doing the Chainsaw Reacts movie, which would make $1 billion. It would save the industry. He said, okay, so let's say Stephen Amell gets an offer for the Chainsaw Reacts movie. They go to Tom Hardy next, which is like a weird, like next person to go, Tom Hardy, Venom.
Right.
And Tom Hardy goes, okay, who do you already have? Because normally actors want to know who else is signed on.
Exactly.
He hears Stephen Amell. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's going to happen. He's going to probably get a new gig or season 3 of Heels.
Man.
And there's going to be people that do not want to work with him. And it's going to be hard to get people to want to work with him. And even though he puts out his comments, he goes on a TMZ saying, I'm willing to cross the line if need be, if it's going to help. And it's like, that's not helping.
Yeah. I think he's got a good heart. I just think he's misplaced right now. Like, because I loved Arrow. Arrow was an amazing show. Even the seasons that were not as good as like season 1, I still loved it, you know? And then he tried the movie thing with the second Ninja Turtles movie as Casey Jones. That didn't pan out. You know, I want him to like grab onto something and have a franchise to keep going. And man, he's just not doing himself any favors right now.
No, not really. I think that the Heels was, I don't know if it was a smart move because Stars is not a very popular streaming service. It'd be different if, say, Heels was on HBO Max, now Max.
Yeah.
Very different. Okay, he's staying within the Warner Brothers realm, but he goes over to a service, a television, cable package that hardly anybody has.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know many people that watched Arrow that are now watching Heels.
That's true. I was going to watch Heels, but then I realized I didn't want to pay for Stars. So, it's one of those things.
Yeah. What's the thing? Okay. So thank you for the super chat. Cinema. That's an interesting name. I get not talking about Heels. It makes sense because it's a new project, but why would he not be able to talk about Arrow? It ended years ago. How much money could talking about it really make to be? Well, it wouldn't make any money for Warner Brothers because the show's done and it's on Netflix right now streaming. But it's promoting. It's promoting Warner Brothers Discovery product.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought they could talk about past work, but they apparently can't talk about anything.
Mm-mm.
So if Steven wanted to talk about his DLC appearance as Green Arrow in a Lego Batman game, he can.
Yeah.
But he can't talk about Arrow.
Right. And I think that's silly. I think they should be able to talk about things that are already in the can and done.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it for things that are in production, but the Arrowverse is completely done, you know? So, I mean, but yeah, those are the rules. So we all think it's silly as well, but he's the one in the middle of it, and this is going to affect his bank account.
Yeah. I mean, he's not struggling. That's the main thing I've been trying to let people know, because people are saying he's just speaking his mind. That's fine. I'm not saying he can't.
Yeah.
But what I've been saying is that Stephen Amell is not an actor that's struggling financially.
No.
He led Arrow for 8 years, had crossovers that he got paid for. And of course, even though that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie didn't do very well, he got paid probably a good amount of money for that.
Oh, yeah.
He was at the height of Arrow at that point in terms of popularity. Then, of course, he did Code 8 with his cousin, but then he's on leading with Heels. His past couple of basically jobs that are under the SAG thing, he was getting paid pretty well. He doesn't have to worry about money as long as he didn't go spending crazy on it. So this whole strike is not about him.
Yeah.
It's about his co-stars or guest stars that appeared on Arrow or Heels that are hard, that are not making enough money to get health care.
Oh, that's absolutely right, man.
Yeah.
Thomas Scott says that he didn't walk his comments back, his PR team. Yeah, basically his PR team went into a panic mode trying to get this all sorted out. But are you surprised that Steven walked back his comments? No, because he had to, but then he ruined it by going on TMC and then giving his thoughts there, because he's like, well, yeah, I didn't vote for the strike, which is fine. You don't have to. But you don't need to be going out there saying striking is not going to help, because you're basically saying to all the actors who cannot afford health care because they're not getting paid enough in residuals, and writers too, that this is pointless and that we should just get back to work.
Yeah. He really needs to really kind of put himself away in the house for like a week or two and let this thing pass over. Yeah. Because he is not doing himself or his castmates any favors for heels. And man,
this is bad publicity for heels right now.
It is. And yeah, you know what? I think Steven has changed, because he was that Canadian guy, now he's like he specifically said in that one interview, he's like, I live in Hollywood. I think he's been absorbed inside that bubble. And, so the common sense that he may have once had being outside that bubble does not go inside that bubble.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I still have to laugh at this, the comment he made back in like 2018, where he says, never forget how dumb I am.
Oh, that tweet that's now surfacing up again. Never forget how dumb I am. Man. That's funny. That's the same year he went to my Twitter directly and tweeted at me, "You're hilarious." I still don't know what video he watched of mine, but he watched something.
That's awesome. That
was funny. Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I knew what it was. But now that all this has occurred, he'll delete the tweet. Right. He'll say, "You're not hilarious." But now it's like, that used to be like my top moment in terms of like Twitter interactions. Now it's been replaced by my 2 interactions with Kevin Conroy. I think those are like my favorite now.
Oh, and rest in peace.
Oh yeah, because I tweeted at him. I think the first time I tweeted at him, I was like, they should make another Batman Arkham game, and he quote tweets like, yeah, they do. Yeah, they should. I'm like, yes, I know Arkham Knight's the end, but I want more. Give us more.
Who doesn't, right?
No, X interaction. Sorry, X interaction.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, guys.
X videos too.
We're sending zeets now.
X video. Everybody post your X video. Yeah, and I think other time he's responded to me. Maybe there's 3 times, but there's a tweet saying, because I was watching Kevin Smith's what was it? Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe part 1 or the part whatever, Revelations, I think that's what it is. And he was Mur. I forget what the character's name was, but Kevin Conroy was a voice. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know he was in this. And then he's like, yeah, I always love working with Kevin Smith. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we're unsure about what's going to happen with Superman Alone season 4 with the writing strike, but did you enjoy seeing Lex Luthor? And if they do a season 4, do you think we get a Kryptonite suit? Yeah. I think that we'll get. What do you say?
They have the money now. They cut everyone.
Well, they cut 7 people. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to have the money to really invest into because studios, when they cut the money, they kind of want to hold on to the money, So I don't know.
Wouldn't a practical suit be more like instead of a CGI suit?
Yeah. They'll probably do a practical suit. And the thing is, making a practical Kryptonian or a Kryptonite suit for Lex is way more cost effective. And this is nothing against the actors who got cut, but it's way more cost effective than paying 7 actors full-time salaries for being series regulars. Because when you go from recurring to series regular, that's a big jump in pay, because you are credited. Even if you're not in the episode, you're still getting paid some sort of money. Like, that's why Katie Cassidy, after she returned to Arrow after being killed off Guggenheim, that you notice episodes where she's not involved, she's still credited in the opening title because she's a series regular. So they're saving a lot of money. I hate the fact that they cut all those people, but at the same time, they were paying a lot of money for a lot of characters that, let's be honest, they didn't really do too much to the plot most of the time.
And that's what I was just gonna say. I mean, were they really like necessary for the show to continue on?
Well, some storylines, yes, like they eventually made each character important at certain elements, but it's you don't. I don't think you didn't need them like constantly there. But I feel like it was also padding the runtime. Like, okay, we need to hit that 40-ish minute mark because of the ads and everything for the hour airing. Let's add a 2-minute scene with Sarah and Jordan bickering again.
Right?
Why not?
Yeah, and also Mannheim felt more important than like Irons.
Oh God, I'm glad they gave Bruno Mannheim a lot of stuff in season. That was so good. Oh my God.
How can you not? Bruno Mannheim, come on.
Chad Coleman, he is a beast.
And he's not a stranger to DC. He was on Arrow before. And got
he was. Yeah, and everybody thought, oh, he's going to be a big bat. No, still a couple episodes. He's fine. But when I first saw him in Walking Dead, I'm like, I like this guy. This guy's cool. I still haven't finished that show. I can't stand Sarah and Superman and Lois Shieldman. Well, you can say that about a lot of characters. I mean, because let's be honest, at a certain point, I think we were all ready to strangle Sarah and Jordan. We were tired of them fighting all the time.
I got wrapped up.
I was ready to strangle them like when they first started dating, man.
Yeah,
and she came back from camp and she had kissed that girl, and I was like, just stop. I want to hear a Superman story. Come on.
Like I suffered 7 years of Smallville Klana. Can we move on from this?
Right.
Or it's like a thing to where it's randomly in the middle of season 3. No, it's like maybe towards the end where Natalie is really upset because Bruno's son obviously is who she's in love with or whatever. And then it's like, well, Jonathan, you got to go talk to her. And it's like, well, and Jordan just randomly references the fact that he got his heart broken by Sarah, and she's right there. I'm like, okay, we could have win a scene without you addressing the fact that she the problem is they broke up, but they didn't keep the characters apart. They kept throwing them in the mix. It's like, okay, I guess they have nothing else to do. I guess
the writers, man.
Exactly. Then Sarah's mom said if Jordan doesn't accept her cheating, he is bad, then she kicks her husband out for cheating the same way she's. That's a point.
Bad comparison token.
But I mean, Lana.
No, like when she was like, when she told that to Sarah, I think that was a bad choice of words because she didn't follow through with it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Was it like Alyssa with constant contrived conflicts? Yes. I mean, because if you look at season 3 of Arrow, you can just randomly click an episode into the season, and if Oliver's in the episode with Felicity, there's conflict.
Yep,
all the time.
And the worst mom scene of her is the slap.
That's they introduced Donna, right?
Donna. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know.
This
is something that we didn't really have back with Smallville, aside from the Lana and Clark thing. Once it was Lois and Clark, there wasn't like so much drama because she was always pulling him around, doing things, and he was always like getting her out of trouble as the Blur. So it felt a little more organic Superman than how some of these things feel.
Their relationship kind of grew from season 4 on to season 10, which I like it better than just like, there you go.
Exactly.
So this just popped up on Twitter just now. I'm going to pull this up. It's a little on topic in terms of DC. So apparently, an animated Kingdom Come movie was discussed, but due to changing regimes, we couldn't go forward with anything like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
missed opportunity right there.
And see, this is the only way that you could really do a proper Kingdom Come movie. It has to be animated.
And I hope Brandon Routh actually voices them too. Voice.
Yeah.
Well, it's really unfortunate because the Tomorrowverse is doing Crisis next year.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're doing Crisis. So, man.
It's kind of funny. We got Crisis and they built the new universe. Now that we got another Crisis that's going to destroy it.
I don't even know because people say, oh, they're going to end Tomorrowverse. I'm like, I don't even know.
I think they're going to end like anything that's supposed to be outside of the DCU so that James Gunn can make everything connected now. So
Well,
I think that's going to like
James Gunn didn't really specify, like, so he said like all the actors are going to play the role, live action, animation, and video games. He didn't specify, and he should have, is the people who are voicing the characters in the Tomorrowverse. So you've got Jensen Ackles as Batman, and you've got I can't think of her name. She was from American Housewife, one of the daughters, voicing Supergirl in
Legion.
that. It was I forget the name of the movie, but it came out a few months ago.
Legion of Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
And then you have the actor who voiced Superman in that first movie that started, the one when he was up against Parasite.
And Jensen Ackles as Batman.
Right. And so the woman who voiced Kara in Legion of Superheroes, I could see her as Supergirl. You know, she has the look. And Jensen Ackles as Batman, I don't know. But see, James Gunn never really clarified on how that was going to go back and forth. Yeah. So if they're just going to end it, then just end it.
Well, it's just confusing because see, I'm conflicted because I'm like, are they going to end the Tomorrowverse? Because James Gunn did say there's Elseworld projects they're still going to be doing.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not like Joker 2 is going to get canceled or the Batman Part 2 from Matt Reeves. Harley Quinn is a show he guest starred on in season 3, and he loves that show. I don't see them canceling that show because of the DCU. I feel I don't even know what they're doing. I wonder if this is connecting to the New 52 timeline that Barry erased.
Could they also be like destroying past projects so that people won't like think that everything's connected?
That's also a thing too. I think it's about the branding of it. But I think this might tie in because see, I don't know if you guys watched it, the Constantine House of Mystery short that came out.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so that directly ties into the New 52 timeline that was destroyed. Yeah. And I feel that maybe that was also setting up Crisis in terms of the world that Barry destroyed in order to reset the timeline for the Tomorrowverse. I feel there's ramifications that we haven't seen of that, and I feel like this is what the reference is to Crisis. That's my theory if they're not going to end it, but they're going to address this huge timeline of films that they basically had to erase because of billions of lives lost on Earth. But what about everything else that was also destroyed because Barry changed the timeline? What about all those other worlds that maybe were not affected by Darkseid's, Doomsday, all that? So I don't know.
Could it also like tie into the fact that Flash didn't do well? So they could be like
they're trying to erase the Flash at the same time.
I feel like they probably have this Crisis movie in development way before they realized the Flash was.
I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity now.
that is funny though, but
I think they know. I think they knew the Flash was not going to do good under the circumstances, regardless. But
why did they lie?
Here's the good thing too: the Crisis movie could realistically revisit anything in animated form, or we can visit stuff in live action in animated form.
I like
because I threw this out on Twitter when this was announced. I was like, besides my issues with this being way too damn soon, what if they were to reference the Arrowverse in an animated form? Because we already had the Vixen show that did that. What if they did something with it? They already had Crisis on the. But let's be honest, that was a Crisis on the Arrowverse front, and it realistically didn't alter or affect any of the other worlds. Mainly.
But dude, we could go back to the original DCAU for this Crisis, and I mean, Kevin Conroy aside, unfortunately, but
they could still pull old lines.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and that would be epic.
Yeah. Speaking of, the Arrowverse, the Stephen Amell is the Spectre, and he literally said that if anything goes and tries to destroy the world, he has to intervene. Yeah. The multiverse.
No, yeah.
Oh my God. Watch them announce the voice cast and Steven's the Spectre.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Did we just figure out the plot? Oh crap.
So well, here's the difference though. The Harbinger that we see that is teasing Crisis is not the same Harbinger that of course was in our Crisis from Arrowverse. So I don't know. My thing is, even though I think it's too soon, how are they actually going to give us a comic accurate anti-monitor? That's the thing I want to know. Or are they going to change it? Because they've made some major changes at times to character looks.
Yeah.
Like Mongol didn't look too much like Mongol in my opinion. I mean, I guess, but I'm like, are they going to give us an actual comic accurate anti-monitor?
But then again, you have the Flash movie where they started to destroy words and no Spectre.
I mean, that's true. You got a point. The Speed Force, yeah.
So apparently James Gunn has confirmed that we are getting animated movies, which is something I theorized a while back. It's possible.
I think that's good. That's a good thing.
I think I guess what kind of animation style though? Are we going 3D? Are we going kind of like Spider-Verse where it's not saying like that style of like art or like say Mutant Mayhem, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's something unique.
Multiple drawings, meaning kind of like the Spider-Verse when you go. I wouldn't say Spider-Verse. I was more like the Ultimate Spider-Man where they do the Spider-Verse like 4-part thing where they go into another universe and their whole drawing changes.
Oh yeah, but that is just basing the idea that these movies would be like multiversal travel movies. But I see what you're saying. That would be cool if that was part of the storyline. But
what would they give as animated? Because unless it's like a budget reason.
And see, that's what I'm thinking. Because James Gunn, did you catch James Gunn on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast a while ago? So he was very much concerned with the budgets of movies. So I would not be surprised if he was taking some lower tier characters like Booster Gold and even some of the lesser known lanterns, and throwing them in animation form before we see them in live action form for the sake of saving money.
What would be interesting is if they do the Green Lantern show with Hal and John live action, they use that to introduce us to say, let's see, who could they bring in?
Jessica Cruz.
Talrow.
Guy Gardner introduces what's his name? John Stewart.
Oh, it'd be interesting. Well, I think also you could Kilowog, Talrow. You could introduce these like in live action and then do an animated film with them as the co-leads. And then when they travel to different planets, you don't have to get camera set up. You don't have to go and get costumes made. That was already done beforehand. Now you can just do animation.
Now you're just continuing the story of the DCU in animation. And it would be different. It would be a different gimmick that Marvel doesn't have. And that might be kind of cool.
All thing Marvel has right now is What If, which is taking forever for season 2. And X-Men 97, which is not going to be connected to the MCU.
Right. Which is, I think, a mistake.
I want it separate though, because if you, to me, it's I love the MCU for what it is. There's some problems recently, but
for better or for worse, it's good.
The X-Men 90 series I grew up on. I don't want that connected. I also get the theory what if, even though he dies, what if the Professor X that we see is from the 90s, that was in the Multiverse of Madness was from the 90s? Well, then that destroys the X-Men 97's potential plot moving forward in terms of Professor X's role in that show. But I do like the theory that the Wolverine that we were seeing from Hugh Jackman is the same Wolverine that was from the Earth of Professor X that died.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I love that. And I'm thinking that could very well be it, man.
That'd be badass. Just the idea of he's fucking mad. He's trying to find whoever killed his Professor X, and he runs into Deadpool, who's destroying the 20th Century Fox logo. I don't know what he's doing. That's so funny. I can't wait to see what they do with that. Do we think that Superman and Lois is ending after season 4?
Probably.
Yeah.
I still hope so. I hope not, but
I mean, I'd be down for more, but
yeah, I'll be down for 2 more seasons. 5. The cutoff of usual.
Where James Gunn said was going to be 2.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is it. We're done.
I'm honestly surprised it's coming back for 4.
Me too.
With everything that's going on in DCU's state of things, but as long as this is not going to bump up against anything James Gunn is doing with Superman, then it could carry on another season or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the Green Lantern stuff, with Guy Gardner, they've essentially said that there's actually more than one Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Because Guy Gardner is the 3rd or 4th one. And there's Hal Jordan already and Alan Scott.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jessica Cruz, as Sean mentioned, Jessica Cruz could be introduced within this DCU, because I feel like James Gunn is going to give us some heavy hitters of characters we know, but then he's going to be introducing characters who have never appeared in live action or have not in a long time. And Jessica Cruz is a fan favorite from people who read the comics of Green Lanterns. They love her character. At least they think she's interesting enough that James like, okay, well, they could send her around an animated movie with her, introduce her in the show, and then bring her to animated form, bring her back for a Justice League movie down the road. Yep. There's many things you can do with that.
She was in Justice League versus the Fatal 5, I think it was.
Yep.
And
which was great. I enjoyed that.
It was an extension of the OG DCAU with Jessica Cruz. So I loved it. Yeah.
If that was 97 for SRX, we need to check if people cross the streets on the red line. Do an adaptation of the comic with Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. Well, I mean, I feel like we're gonna get films and movies. Well, movies, same thing. Movies and shows based off of comics. I mean, at least we're doing Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Yeah. Literally, I'm not sure if it's an adaptation 100%, but we're pretty much adapting that story for film. So it's possible.
I still need to read that one.
Yeah, I actually have it. I haven't read it yet, but I did buy it. It was the last one. Like the girl who was checking me out at the comic store, she was reading it, and she's like, "Yeah, I picked up this one literally when I came. Like, it was like the day after all the announcements." She's like, "Yeah, I picked it up. Like I bought it from the store just like now, and it was one left." I was like, "Oh god!" And then I was like, "Hey, do you have the Booster Gold that was showed off?" He's like, "No, that sold out." I'm like, "Damn." Okay, and that's for the Authority. She's like, "Same thing, sold out." I'm like, "Damn."
The Authority sold out?
Yeah, the Authority literally sold out. Like she said that they had like 5 or 6 copies of the graphic novel that was showcased in the announcement, and they were all gone within like an hour after they opened the next day.
That's hilarious because nobody knows who the Authority is.
That's the good thing. Like James Gunn's actually helping DC comic sales. And then he's going and he's like, "Hey, DC Comics, start reprinting this crap so we can actually sell it." Because that's the one thing the MCU is actually not doing. They're not promoting comics. They're just making product, which is fine. But James is like, well, it's the one thing Kevin Feige is not doing really well at right now. So let me start promoting comics, because it's his love for comics that got him into this in the first place.
Yeah.
So,
and I knew nothing about the Guardians of the Galaxy until I just saw it, and I'm like,
yeah, I didn't either. And then I saw the movie, I was blown away. I was like, I saw that and I was like, this is modern Star Wars. And then Star Wars happened.
And he made me care about a raccoon.
Yep, exactly. And after seeing Guardians 3 and how he handled the all 4 of them and what happens with
that scene was tough, man.
I knew it was coming, but Jesus, he brutal. If they were to do Blackest Night, that would take so many things to build up to, and you would have to literally do more than one movie to tell the story. You
can't just it couldn't even just be 1 3-hour movie. It would have to be like at least 2 movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab the omnibus that I have of Blackest Night, and I'll show you how big this is. Hold on.
Oh yeah. it is a long read, man.
I have to laugh at his picture though.
That's Barry. Run, Barry. Run.
I know. I didn't want to.
I totally forgot that I had that image.
Holy crap.
Holy
That's
crap.
the entire omnibus. This is the 10th anniversary.
That is badass.
It
Is
is.
the dark metal that big too?
I'm not sure. All I know is that this is my biggest omnibus. I think my second biggest is X-Men Avengers Onslaught, which was a 90s run that featured a character that was born out of Professor X's and I think Magneto's, or I know Apocalypse's darkest parts of their mind or something, and it created this unstoppable killing machine that the Hulk had to fight for days to finally kill. But yeah, this is how. So literally, you would have to do probably several shows and probably at least 3 movies to do all this.
Yeah, so you'd have to maybe do like a lot of animation and then like 3 movies.
It'll be like an anime with like 170 episodes.
Yeah, I think I looked on Amazon because I actually got this off of Macari, which is like a version of eBay, so it's cheaper. But I think the total amount of pages is 1,600 pages in this.
Oh my god!
So it's going to take you a long ass time to read it. That's
I've got it on my tablet, because I do the DC Universe Infinite app, and I know it's a long read on that.
That's what DC Universe reverted to, the original DC streaming service,
right?
Because that was for Harley Quinn, Titans,
Stargirl,
Stargirl.
Yeah. I had it day one. Man.
Me too. I was so excited. I had heard a rumor that they were going to. This was before they announced, of course, they were going to be bringing in Barbara in Titans season 3. But the rumor I heard was that season 2 of Titans on DC Universe was going to introduce Batgirl and spin her off into a show. I was like, please, God, please let it be true. Yes. And it wasn't. But I got my hopes up.
Well, we got Batwoman. I mean,
hey, I want to see a legit redhead Barbara Gordon in the DCU.
I feel like we'll get it. My only complaint is this.
What do you think about Karen Gillan?
Well, it honestly depends. How old are we making Bruce? How old is Damian?
Damian's got to be about 14, right? 14, 14, 15. So that means that Dick is already Nightwing. So Barbara would be an older Batgirl.
And she better not be in the wheelchair yet.
I don't.
If we start off with Oracle, I'm going to lose my mind.
I will have a problem with that universe from that point on if we start out with Oracle.
Also, it shouldn't be like Oracle shouldn't be always the go-to for Batgirl, because it should be a different universe.
Right. This doesn't have to be her destiny in this universe, you know?
That's true too.
She could be still Oracle, but standing.
That's true. That's true.
Or if they want to completely screw with us, that her destiny is not to get shot, but it's somebody else, and her name is Stephanie Brown. She gets just throwing in a twist like that. And that's not me shading Stephanie Brown. I like that version of the character. I like that, Batgirl, of course, becomes spoiler, all that. But what if, hey, let's have an older Batgirl. She turns into Batwoman, like a version of Batwoman or something else. Or she becomes Oracle after she decides to retire from going out. And then down the road, Stephanie Brown as Batgirl gets shot by Joker or maybe somebody else.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Batgirl still gets shot. So
we've actually seen 2 Stephanie Browns. One was in Titans of Photograph.
Yeah.
And the other one was in Batwoman.
Oh, and Gotham Knights. That's 3.
Gotham Knights.
That's 3.
I totally blanked on Gotham Knights because that's 10
out of 10. Okay.
Sure.
Are we talking about the show or the game? Because
both.
I didn't mess with the show, but I did buy the game, unfortunately.
Greatest detective gets killed in the first episode.
The show, I don't think it's not worth it, but I will say the game isn't the best, but I will say I loved that I could play as Batgirl and jump to Nightwing and then jump to Red Hood. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I wish that the frame rate was better, because obviously there's some clunky movements. If Rocksteady would have done that game, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
It would have been amazing, because the map would have been better. The story would have been better.
But it was WB Montreal did it or something like that. Yeah.
It wouldn't be so cliche in terms of, we know what's going to happen in the final act. We know.
Do you think they would stick with the coin flip? Like you have to pick up a coin to switch from Batman to Catwoman?
I mean, I don't know. It's possible. I think the idea. I think the one thing they did, I think, right was the mannequins of your suits. You use that to switch characters. Yep. I think that was smart. And just the way the story is set up, like literally, it is basically a version of the continuation of Arkham Knight, but it's not. But it is.
It is. Yeah. It's weird.
I knew as soon as you start hearing Bruce's voice and he looks a little bit different, I'm like, yeah, this is not connected shit. Okay, because Montreal they made Arkham Origins, which isn't, it is connected, but
it's a different actor.
Yeah, Rocksteady doesn't count it as a part of their things. Yeah, I mean, obviously, because like there are some things that they were trying to make it seem like it's connected. But Rocksteady is like, well, since we didn't make it, we're not going to say that it's connected to the trilogy, but it's fine. Because you could say this is the trilogy of stories that start from 1 to 3. And this is just years before when he's younger and angry as shit and he hates everything. Okay. And
I kind of want to see a Superman Rocksteady game.
Ooh.
Now that I think about it.
Well, the rumor was they were developing that and that turned into Suicide Squad. And that's why they're in Metropolis.
They killed it.
Literally.
That game seems so weird.
They keep delaying it. You spelled her name wrong, stranger, but it's fine. I think she definitely deserved that movie to come out. I don't care what people say. This whole notion of had bad test screenings. Well, also Black Adam did too. Let's look how that turned out.
And they leaked the dog one, the animation one that was supposed to be like in the same boat.
Well, Scooby-Doo and Crypto too, like that leaked because people thought that was getting shelved, and it's actually coming out next month.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't want to see Batgirl because I heard that she was going to basically be Mary Sue to Michael Keaton's Batman, and but I have to admit, man, after all of the drama that's surrounding it, I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see what they had, and like in the Flash, we didn't see the Batmobile except for once. And in the leaks from, I think the directors, we saw the freaking Batmobile out on the road again, man. I was like,
and also this kind of like set the precedence that we can fuck people over now.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if you worked on a project?
Who cares if it's 100% complete? We can still cancel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it 100% complete?
99%.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it was really close. And but I mean, I've also heard people say that was going to be the Batman Begins project, essentially. And we wouldn't have gotten a true one with Terry McGinnis, which would have sucked.
Yeah, and then they said and then there was a thing that came out which was announced last year that they were developing a Batman Beyond, and then it came out when the movie came out. Well, if the Flash would have performed well, we would have got a Batman Beyond. Like, well, this was old news. This was last year. It all came out. Now I understand because it was buried within all the news surrounding Henry Cavill. Is he continuing or not? He's exiting. What really happened with Wonder Woman 3 with Patty Jenkins? So I get the point of like it got buried in all the new stuff, but it was there. Yeah. Like, and the fact is, I think if they would have actually put out the Flash at a decent time versus this year, because it was in so much delay, that maybe they could have done it. Because the old regime wanted that, but unfortunately they waited too long.
If they would have kept to the release order, like all of these movies were to have been released last year, and I forget what the order was, but Aquaman definitely was not the last one.
No.
So if they would have done them in the original order that they announced at DC, what was the thing? Fandom. Yeah, DC Fandom. Then I think we might be having a different conversation right now.
Should they just either rewrite the entire Aquaman or just not send it out, or just take the loss?
I would just shelf it, man. I would put that movie on the shelf and just take my lumps and just move on and let James Gunn do what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The thing is, they've put so much money into it. That's the only problem.
Right.
But then again,
into the Flash and bombed.
They put over $200 million, and then they put $150 million into marketing for Flash.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Aquaman too. Like they've already put so much money into it. I mean, you can't shelve it. We have someone else joining the stream. The last time he was on a stream with me was back during the Disney Plus Investors Day or something. I think. Hey man,
Hey,
What's up?
nothing much. How about you all?
Hang it. We're
What's going on, man?
we're struggling trying to get through all this.
See that a lot of drama, a lot of stuff talked about, DC stuff.
Oh yes,
Always, it seems.
it's like even with the strikes going on, there's still stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Man, seeing all these people, so I don't know. I don't get it.
I also have to laugh at the fact that the last thing that the entire DCEU has is George Clooney.
Especially when Keaton's Batman, Kilmer's Batman, and Clooney's Batman was always supposed to be the same Batman. They're just different actors.
I never saw them as the same because they were different actors.
Well, yeah, but you had the same Alfred, you had the same commissioner,
I was thinking multiverse because the fact that there should be a doppelganger of Alfred, there should be a doppelganger of Commissioner Gordon, and
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but they kept the same Alfred. They kept the same.
The tone changed too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was Joel Schumacher.
Right.
Changed in 3 and 4.
It became more campy.
Yeah.
It went back to Adam West.
Very much
That's what it went to. Especially in that Batman and Robin, which getting Clooney on set, that is, I don't know how they pulled that off.
Trust me, my whole theater went crazy. Like one guy behind me literally said, "What the fuck?"
Like were they actually happy about it?
No, they were shocked. They were like, "What?"
I believe my theater was like, "What the fuck?" and that was me.
Yeah, that is that one guy who says, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I had heard that Warner Brothers was in like heavy negotiations with Christian Bale, like up until the last minute, to be the one in that car.
Yeah, I think that's what.
I would have been more pissed. I actually left out laughing instead. If it was Christian Bale, I'll be more pissed because I'm like, I want more, and it's going to be a bomb.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'm glad, walking out. It left on a happy note.
The only good thing about this is that Barry seems to be stuck in a pocket universe, so it shouldn't have to affect James Gunn. So he can cast somebody completely new.
We see him Barry again.
I hope we see Wally.
That's what someone theorized too. Like, okay, so what if we just not necessarily skip Barry, but maybe have another Flash movie? I know that's kind of what another Flash movie, but having Barry get stuck somewhere in the Speed Force, and then the movie is focused on Wally.
Yeah,
and that's or Bart, and then some point down the road, then we go and get Barry out.
Yep,
kind of like a version of what Young Justice did. So that could be interesting because we are saying there's a Flash. We're saying there's a Barry Allen, but our Flash for a while is going to be Wally. We're going to switch it up because, unfortunately, our movie version, our last one, didn't do so well, and people really wanted the TV version of our Flash, and that couldn't work. So let's just go Wally.
The new DC movie.
Yeah, because if you establish a Wally, that means there's a Barry and there's a Jay.
Yeah,
that, we could potentially see at any time.
Could we actually get an actual Jay Garrick that's not a CGI face,
right?
In movie?
I mean, I would love to see John Wesley Shipp again, but I know that would be too connected, and that wouldn't work.
No.
It would be awesome though.
Yeah.
I mean, James Gunn said that his universe is inspired by the DCAU, particularly Justice League Unlimited. So maybe Wally would be the Flash. You don't know.
That would make a lot of sense because literally he is the Flash.
That's true.
Point. Round of applause. That's a good point. I didn't even think about it.
Michael Rosenbaum would make a great Wally West to like kind of come in.
Yeah.
Have him be bald just to mess with people. He's bald and he says certain lines like he would have as Lex, but he's Wally. And don't explain that he's an older Wally. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Or he could be like Johnny Quick who impersonates Wally.
Oh, dude, okay, stop it. That is amazing. The idea of, oh my God, he's Johnny Quick. Holy crap. That could actually work. Because I would think at some point, if you want to switch it up and do something that's not been done in live action, Do Crime Syndicate.
Yeah.
Do Crime Syndicate.
Why not?
And who is going to play Ultra? Is it Ultraman? Yes.
Ultraman, I believe so.
Well, it's not. We've already seen a live action Ultraman. That was Smallville.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess.
I just had a fucking amazing idea. Hold on a second. I'm looking this up. Crime Syndicate. DC, you idiots. It's like, oh, Crime Syndicates in the world? No. See my computer. Okay. Oh, I got an idea. Okay. Oh yeah, because the Justice Lords. I like that. We had the Justice Lords in the DCAU.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good thing. Okay. So Ultraman, Henry Cavill.
Yes.
Owlman, Ben Affleck. Superwoman, Gal Gadot. Johnny Quick, Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's do this.
Emerald Knight. I don't. Fuck it. Wayne T. Carr, who was cast in the Snyder Cut that didn't get it. Just have him be Emerald Knight. Why not?
Okay.
Wait, Atomica. Who is this person based off of? Atomica. I don't know. Oh, based on the Atom.
Oh.
Did you say Superwoman as Gal Gadot or Wonder Woman?
Yeah. Well, it's Superwoman. That's the Crime Syndicate version. Superwoman's Gal Gadot. So I know people, they wouldn't do that, but that'd be funny.
Yeah, because that's usually Lois Lane, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Superwoman? Or I thought it was.
Yeah, Superman.
Primarily, it is Alias evil counterpart to Wonder Woman in the Crime Syndicate, evil counterparts to the Justice League. It has since been used as the mainstream for female counterparts to Superman by his longtime allies Lucy Lane, Lois Lane, and Lana Lang.
Yeah. Okay.
And Lois Lane did it once. Too.
Yeah, because there's a Superwoman in Crime Syndicate, but then there's also a Prime Earth Lois Lane called Superwoman, and then there's another version of Prime Earth from DC Rebirth, Lana Lang. The antimatter universe is Lois Lane as Bizarrus. There's a Bizarro Superwoman as Bizarrus.
See, this is why DC fans are confused all the time. All of these.
I would call them normies.
It's a lot complicated. There's so much stuff.
Oh yeah,
DC that's really hard to explain. Let's be honest.
Because
the complicated stuff to the real DC fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's also other villains called like Archer, which of course is a version of Oliver called Archer, which is like basic name, but okay.
What if we got Robin Hood? Because he's supposed to be a DC character that Vandal Savage trained.
Yeah. There's a character called She-Bat. She-Bat is an amalgamation of Man-Bat and Catwoman.
Interesting.
Okay. I'm down. Hey, James Gunn, bring in She-Bat. I don't care. Just do it. Who gives a crap?
You know what? And he might, because he likes those weird characters, man.
Sea King. Just bring in Sea King, the arch, the evil doppelganger to Aquaman. Why not? I'm just looking at this whole thing. What the hell? Oh, there's enemies. Alexander Luthor, Anti-Monitor's an enemy, of course. Batman, Commissioner Wayne. Hive, Injustice League, Jokester. Oh, yeah. I remember the Jokester. Yeah.
They could, add Aqualad, too, if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crisis on Earth 3, Earth 2, Syndicate Rules, Omega. So these are storylines. Darkseid War. I remember the Darkseid War. Insane arc. Anti-Monitor versus Darkseid. They should that as a movie. Do that.
Do you think that they should have made Darkseid better? What they already had?
In what?
What isn't the one that we saw in Justice League should have been more better than what we had, or do you think that's the peak of CGI?
Oh, you mean his appearance?
Yeah, his appearance.
Yeah, I personally think that he should have been a lot bigger.
Oh, we also, go for it.
Like giant size.
Maybe not giant, but we didn't really get a good scale of how tall he is.
Justice League War, I mean, there was a scale. It was like a mountain.
Yeah, because in the Snyder Cut, he's next to parademons that are kneeling. He's next to Granny Goodness. But he's not next to any Justice League. So we don't know how big he actually was. but
looks like 8 foot.
maybe.
Well, I know that he is like a couple feet taller than Superman, like in like most of the animated series. So
I'm gonna pull this up because I think this is a good comparison. So this was, let's see if they have a good shot. Justice League War animated. Like, I think the Justice League War animated Darkseid was pretty. He was massive in terms of size.
yeah, I think he was.
Yeah,
And his voice was spot on too.
Oh, his voice is brutal.
I think it was made by the same guy who voiced what is his name?
I don't know the voice, but the voice of Darkseid in that movie is bonkers.
Oh, Ultron. He was voiced by the same guy who did Ultron, and
really?
Avengers. Spade something.
James Spader.
Yeah, I think that was his voice.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I know Tony Todd voiced him in Apocalypse War. I think I might be misremembering that.
Yeah, I think it was Tony Todd in that one. I can't find a good image, but I bet what James Gunn is going to do, he's going to make him big, and I bet he's going to give him that blue tint on his armor, which was absent from the Snyder Cut, just to make him different.
I think one thing they should keep is the voice from the Snyder Cut. I know it's like multiverse, but that voice really good.
Ray Porter crushed it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the voice.
He destroyed it. Yeah, Ray Porter. I'm looking for Darkseid voices. So in Justice League Apocalypse War, Tony Todd, Michael Ironside came back, of course, from the DCAU to do Harley Quinn. He was
Steve Blum. That's who voiced him in War.
Oh, wow.
I I think they did some sort of like effect to his voice because that. I don't know how humanly possible you can get your voice like that. Then again, I don't know. Oh my god, DC superhero girls. You had John DiMaggio. Bender himself was the voice. Wait, Weird Al Yankovic voiced Darkseid in Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's funny. I still have yet to watch Futurama, the return season yet. I've still not seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen the first episodes.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it. It just felt like the same, the show, like the tone and everything, and the characters feel like they never left. I like that they call out the revival, cliche, like things get revived all the time.
Did they make any reference to the fact that John DiMaggio almost didn't voice Bender because his contract, or no?
I don't think so. I just know that he was just like, "We're back, baby." That catchphrase he always does.
Makes sense. I need to watch that.
Yeah.
Then again, I need to watch a lot of things. I've yet to watch the screener I need to watch before Thursday. Oh boy. Harley Quinn is now back, but I also got to get ready for Superman on Friday. So I don't know. Thankfully, I don't have to work Thursday and Friday, so I have a lot more time.
How are you feeling about the new Superman cartoon?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, I do get the critique about the tech, but I think that's tying into, I think based off what we saw last week, that's definitely hinting at some bigger storylines of that tech that we're seeing. Is everyone caught up on the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that that flashback of General Lane that we saw of the stuff crashing was when he crash landed, and there was tech that also crashed. And that's so I think it's Kryptonian tech that we've been seeing throughout.
That makes sense.
That was stolen by Livewire, sent it out to people. And I feel that what they're referring to is the day that was referred to by Amanda Waller, some sort of 0 day or something. I think the visions we're seeing, it's either Zod or it's Brainiac that we're leading to.
I hope it's not Zod. Zod's been overdone.
Let's see. Talking about the visions for the Krypton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I feel for Brainiac.
Yeah.
Have to call back.
Well, it could also be a lesser known villain. There's been rumors of villains who are supposedly appearing, but I've also noticed this too. He only has the visions when he touches the tech.
Right.
Every other time, no. But when that I think it was a woman who had some sort of tech, and she's about to go punch Lois. Of course, he's connected to her, so he has to grab the arm and break it, and then throw the person away, holding on to the tech. Another vision. So I think it's Kryptonian tech. That's why he's having these visions, because it's connected. Because
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's my guess. Ooh, 0 days when Clark arrived on Earth. I think you're right. I think that may have been what it is. Yeah, I don't know. That's just my theory. No idea. The screener of what? I can't say. I'm kidding. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I'm seeing season 2 early, and I think this week's episode is the musical, which I've not seen yet. So we'll see how that goes over.
That's gonna be so weird, man.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna see it tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
I look forward to your review.
Yeah, so far I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I think the crossover they did with Lower Decks, I think was interesting. I've never seen Lower Decks, but they bring them to live action. That was an interesting way they did that.
I really enjoyed season 1 of Strange New Worlds. I thought it was really well done.
Let's jump on season 2. I think they're definitely improving on things, and there is a storyline. I won't say what it is, but there's a storyline that is hinted at with a certain character. They fully flesh out. I was not prepared for it.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite surprising, and it's with a character that, at least from my perspective, you really get attached to because of the storylines they're giving this individual. That's pretty like heartbreaking. You're like, oh, this is bad. Okay. And then now this occurs, and it makes you go, this is going to get really bad, and it gets bad. A decision is made that I don't know how to feel about it, honestly.
Well, you sold me,
I don't
bro.
know how to feel about the new Tomorrowverse movie, to be honest.
Oh, come on. I mean, Warworld?
Yeah, I'm like
10 out of 10, man. 10 out of 10.
I'm hearing it's bad.
Negative 10 out of 10. It's boring. The pacing is crap. The third act is literally rushed as fuck.
Yeah.
They could have easily built up like stuff leading up to the third act where you can actually understand what's all occurring. But instead, when you're watching it the first time, they leave you in the dark for the first half. You don't even know what's going on. You're like, why are we watching this? Like,
I literally thought it was like someone just spliced together like 4 different movies.
Or like they splice together shorts, like
Isn't
Elseworld
the plot-
shorts.
Isn't the plot of this movie supposed to be the origin of the Justice League for this world?
No.
You would think.
That's what I thought it was going to be. But
the Justice League's already been formed in Green Lantern Where My Power. It's just like, oh, the Justice League's already formed, and they bypass all that. And so when you watch the film, the title doesn't make sense. The Justice League part does not make any sense because it's not the Justice League.
They're like separated from like the first
It's not even a full. It's not even a full team.
Nope.
It's literally the Trinity and one other person. That's it.
That's messed up.
Yeah, and they bring in a character that makes no sense in the movie, but they just bring another character just to have a character in the movie. Like, why are you here? And why are you showing up in the last 20 minutes? I don't get it.
It's like Superman in Justice League. Last 20 minutes.
Yeah, literally someone mentioned this, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's literally when you watch it for the first time, it feels like I'm watching 3 Elseworld shorts that have been put together as one compilation, when actually, no, it's a full movie.
No. Well, thank you for watching it so I didn't have to. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. We suffered before you.
And I don't know what happened, but like Warner Brothers did not send me a screener for this, so I don't know.
Because they knew. They knew.
I don't know if they were trying to hide it. Well, it's also too because like my email that they would send me stuff, they're now sending me to my YouTube email, which I didn't ask them to switch over. So I'm not sure if I don't know what happened. I'm not confused. And they've sent out stuff like, "Hey, we got a 4K release for the first time of Batman: Mask of the Phantasm." I'm like, this is awesome. And I said, "Hey, if you're going to send early copies, can I? I've already seen the movie, but can you send early copies?" No response back. And he says, "If you have any questions or concerns or anything, email back to this email." So I responded back, nothing. They also said, we're officially releasing Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2. Hey, if you're going to send screeners, I'll be glad to review this. Nothing. I'm like, okay, guys. I mean, look, if they don't want to, if they're done sending me screeners, whatever. Right. I'll find a way to watch it. It's whatever. It's fine. Because that's what I had to do for Warworld, because I didn't get a screener. And
I even saw a little bit early than I was anticipating too.
Well, yeah, and also too, they did not want me to upload my reaction to Warworld. My review went up, but my reaction, they were like, they kept blocking. I'm like, I'm done trying. No, it wasn't really worth putting up.
Was your review like too hard for them? Like, it wasn't like positive?
Well, no, my review was like 6.5 minutes of me going,
what the fuck?
Yeah, because I literally said, like, this is the newest film from the Tomorrowverse. It unfortunately suffers due to pacing and confusion, and you literally rush past so many things. And I'm like, I don't know what they were doing here, or thinking how this is going to work, because like there is a good story here, but the way they structure it, it's horrible. Mongol is in the last 20 minutes.
Wow.
I'll just say it. Who cares? It's not a spoiler, because it's not worth watching. Once you finish the whole thing, the only thing that is essential, not really essential, is that, oh, by the way, they're teasing Crisis. That's it. Like, literally, This was just getting the Trinity together, but they only really form in the last 20 minutes. They're really confused. We're confused. And then, okay, it's over. Okay? Yeah. And you're seriously wondering, okay, so that just happened. They got transported. So does that affect the timeline now? And then it just cuts. Like, there's no answers to anything. Like, literally, you have to wait until an hour in to get answers to questions that could have been answered in the first 15 minutes. Yeah. But instead, they make you wait. They make you wait through a long opening 15-minute Wonder Woman sequence in Wild Wild West. And then it randomly transitions to some sort of Jurassic period with Bruce Wayne. And there's a guy, and he's kind of like Oliver Queen, but he's not. But he's voiced by Teddy Sears, of course, Jake Eric, Zoom. And then that all happens. Yeah, and then there's a woman here, and you're thinking, is that Wonder Woman? And it is, but it's confusing. And then you realize, why is that here? That time-wise, that doesn't make sense. And then you realize, oh, she randomly, without any explanation, went from that timeline to this timeline in this vision. And then they transitioned to Area 51 type setting with aliens and shit in black and white for Clark. And then that's when the Trinity forms. But they're all confused. And
and also the fact that the whole Wonder Woman part was kind of like she's supposed to save that. What it felt like she was supposed to save something, and it turns out she never actually saved anything. So I'm like,
no.
So what was the point of that?
Yeah, and they randomly have a character who fits in that time period that makes no sense why this person's here, and he's a bad guy.
And Jonah Hex was in it.
That was what I was. That's what I was referring to.
And I was like, is he supposed to be the bad? Okay, I get. He could be like the bad guy in this. Like, and then they switched to Batman. I'm like, what? That just literally tone just changed.
What would? Because the thing is, what was the point of the Wild Wild West opening 15 minutes? There's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point. It's just, oh, they're being tricked. That's it. Like, they could have literally opened the movie with Mongol and then start leading into this stuff. Yeah, and then so we're on the same page, and maybe there's more of a connective thing to maybe, dumb idea, Diana, Bruce, and Clark are all within the same vision each time. And when they start getting close to the truth, the thing switches, and now they're in a different period together, separated, but then they come together again, and then they start remembering what happened in the past vision, and then they get closer, and then it switches again. But instead, the way it's structured, it's like, it is tedious to watch. There's some fun moments, but my God.
These are the type of things that James Gunn's going to have to clap down on.
He has to.
And as soon as I saw the first 15 minutes, I just started skimming through it, seeing like cool scenes. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch this. And then I finally get to the important part where they explain everything. But I watched the entire like hour of the movie just within like 30 minutes. I skimmed a lot.
Double speed.
I should have done that with Legion of Superheroes, man, because I felt the
I
same
actually
way.
enjoyed that. I didn't like the reveal of certain character changing sides, but I overall enjoyed that movie because I felt like they handled Kara pretty well, even though it was like all of a sudden, oh, she's here now. But other than that, I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then the actual villain, I'm like, okay, whatever. And then
that was a choice.
Yeah, and then they tease Warworld, and we're thinking, oh, Warworld, we're gonna get some heroes, and nothing. Oh,
and bomb like the Flash without the bomb.
And on top of everything else, they canceled Kingdom Come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why have that when you can watch Elseworlds tales tied into a Justice League Warworld movie? Why would you? Why would you want a Warworld movie with actual heroes fighting villains and shit in an arena type setting, and it's like they're playing a game and they're all puppets? Why would you want to watch that when you can watch Visions?
It's like Arkham Origins is like the go-to Justice League Warworld. Then we would expect it would be like Arkham Knight.
Right.
Yeah. PW Gregory said a good point. It's not a league, it's barely a squad. Yeah. Basically. But thing is
barely 7 people.
Barely. Yeah, there's barely anybody in the movie.
It's barely 2 people.
Yeah. I don't get it.
It's messed up.
Oh, and Bruce Wayne makes a choice that Bruce Wayne would never do. He does something in this movie that he would never actually do when he did it.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't end up actually happening what he did, but he still did it and walked away thinking that outcome is going to be bad. I'm like, that's not what Bruce Wayne would do. Batman's not like that. Jesus Christ. Have any of you seen The Flash Escape the Midnight Circus? Oh, you mean talking about
you mean the not TV show podcast?
Yeah, the
that
audio.
has no visual.
I once because me and Andy were on Ben the DC TV's live stream a few weeks back, and he told us a synopsis, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. I don't need to listen to this.
I was clickbait on it. I was like, we're getting a new Flash TV show, but DJ Eric, said like, I'm there's going to be a new Flash TV show. I'm like, awesome. Let me hear more about it. It's a podcast. Well, fuck.
You can literally hear more about it because it's going to be for your ears only. And like once they said like, oh, Barry loses his powers in the story, I'm like, what's the point?
How many times do we have to see Barry lose his freaking powers?
Or just in general, a storyline where a character loses their powers.
Yeah.
Like it's boring. It's been done so many times. We don't need it. And this is audio format. It's not cost effective to have him lose his powers.
Right.
Like in a TV show where you literally have, because I mean, they saved some money after when Barry fought Zoom.
It happened.
And he got, and Zoom like basically put him in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Like I think Grodd was the next episode, but they basically made it to where, okay, we're going to pay for Grodd. Barry's going to be in a wheelchair and not using his speed. So we're going to save money on that. That's what they were doing. Like it just, the idea of audio. Okay. So the audio engineer editing the thing together, he doesn't have to add in lightning stuff. So that saves time. What?
It's not the same thing.
I don't know.
And the losing the powers happened multiple times. Marvel did it multiple times. Arrow did it like he literally has no power. Flash did it multiple times.
He gained powers in season 4 fighting Damien Dark. Remember?
He gained the Flash powers and then lost it. Then the Flash did it a couple of times. Then Supergirl did it once in season 1.
Yeah.
Then you have like Superman Lois, which also did it. I think. Yeah.
Smallville, Clark just gave his powers to somebody else after they got struck by lightning.
No, he actually lost his powers too. When he was getting a lesson by his father in season 5.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times in Smallville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they changed the story.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like at a certain point, like we've already seen a lot of the stuff being rehashed over and over and over.
Yeah. Just
Switch it
within
up.
the past 10, 20 years.
Do something different. I mean, literally, we had the Flash and Multiverse of Madness within a year of each other. Then we're having another multiverse Deadpool movie, which I feel like that's gonna be the exception because they're gonna make fun of the fact that there's other multiverse movies that are coming out. Like they're definitely gonna address like Yeah, Marvel and DC, like they've been just doing multiverse. So you know what? We're gonna do our multiverse. We're gonna make it better. I'm gonna kill the Fox universe. You know.
I just remember that my old pal Deadpool is going to come to you and he's going to ask you for a offer that you can't refuse. Just say yes.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
And he's murdering himself while he's saying it.
I'm looking
saying
forward to
himself
that.
like twice too.
Yeah.
Like the Green Lantern script.
Jesus.
I've seen a theory. I don't know where I heard it from. Someone made this idea. Like, what if the villain is actually X-Men Origins Deadpool, who's the Deadpool who kills the Fox universe? Like, he's like, if people are gonna hate me, then I'll just kill everybody and prove to them that I am a better Deadpool. Because it's fourth wall break moments. Like,
I think it's the TVA.
The TVA.
Because he crossed timelines a bunch of times in Deadpool 2. So I think the TVA is after him because isn't Loki attached to it?
Wait, well, I don't know if Loki's in the movie, but I know Loki's TV. I mean, I don't know. Because, see, I bet whatever they do in Loki season 2 might refer
They updated the casting for Tom Hiddleston's in it.
In Deadpool 3?
In Deadpool 3, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where's the confirmation about this? Hold on. Where'd you
I
see
don't
this
know
at?
if there's confirmation, but
exactly.
it's in,
You're just making up
Deadpool
stuff.
3. No,
You're just-
Deadpool 3 casting. Yeah.
You're just reading stuff off of
That'd be crazy though.
Let's see. Deadpool 3. So
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson's attached to Deadpool 3.
Emma Corrin has been cast as a lead villain role. I mean, Emma's been, I guess, is Emma not in SAG? Because I think Emma's been doing interviews talking about this. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Emma, who's playing a villain, she was in The Crown as Princess Diana. Okay, that's crazy. Okay,
I showed you a screen of what I saw.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, that's Google. Anybody can add stuff to that.
Yeah.
Now, I think Mobius is in the movie. I don't know about Loki though.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
Yeah, go IMDb. See what IMDb says. IMDb. I mean, I don't know if they've been. Let's see.
Jennifer Garner's in it.
Yeah, that's confirmed. Yeah, Emma Corrin. That's the person who's playing a villain. Colossus. Yeah. I like it's just Logan. It's not Wolverine. Logan. I don't know. Okay.
Okay. Maybe no. Guess not.
Wait till they add Ben Affleck as Daredevil.
It's happening.
Or if they added Elektra, if they add Elektra, then they have to add Ben Affleck because they're in the same universe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he was rumored before even they confirmed Jennifer Garner. Like, Jennifer Garner came out of nowhere. I feel like they probably announced that because maybe they were planning on shooting something with her outside. They were going to get ahead of it, but then the strike was getting close, so they maybe decided to postpone. Because I feel like that's why they put out the suit reveal of Jackman in the suit, because they were shooting outside. They knew that people were going to get photos.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be a cool tie-in to the MCU if TVA is actually the one after them? Because
well, I think the TVA is involved. All the rumors are saying that the TVA and Mobius specifically is in the movie. I don't know about Loki, but I think maybe if Loki's not in the movie, there'll be an explanation within season 2 of Loki why he's not. Because this whole idea of in the trailer where he's time splitting or whatever, that he might actually disappear for a bit, and maybe that explains why it's only Mobius that we see in the TVA. I don't know.
Or what if they get like a cliffhanger at the end of season 2 of Loki, and Loki's like, "I'm going to have to target him," and they show a picture of Deadpool.
That would be amazing.
With the heart-shaped gun.
I've always said this: if the Arrowverse was still going on and had another gigantic crossover, I don't know if they could pull that off. But in terms of gigantic, but what I would like them to do is literally do Crime Syndicate. I think that would be a really. Now, I know they did a version of Crisis on Earth X, but like literally, you can do Ultraman, you can do these characters because they're not iconic like Superman and Batman. Like you can pull off these versions of characters, and that's fine because they already have Superman in the mix. So that's fine. They can do that. But I'm glad they. I'm surprised timing wise. Crisis actually was able to come out before the pandemic. I'm shocked.
I know, because it was like right on the heels, man.
Yeah, the last 2 episodes came out 2 months before the shutdown.
I'm also really glad they shut down Deadpool 3 because the whole aspect of Deadpool is ad-libbing.
Yeah,
literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Brian not being able to ad-lib, that movie would very much suffer.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart is rumored for Deadpool 3. Yes, he is. Yes. I don't know why you call him Boo Boo Stewart, but okay.
And also heard a rumor that the girl that's playing the big bad doesn't really know exactly what's going on with the Marvel. It's saying apparently it's like a shit show, and he's like, "Please explain this to me." I feel like in the movie, Deadpool would be like, "Okay, this is what's happening," and he breaks the fourth wall to her.
Yep.
I've always said I want Deadpool to sit there and have like a montage, and this would be for marketing for Deadpool 3. It doesn't have to be in the movie. Just like 5 minutes of Deadpool watching the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe and taking notes and responding to moments, like where the snap with Tony. I would love for him to go, like, it was that easy. All he had to do was snap his finger.
That would be classic. That'd be classic.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
And then, or like him like getting all like scared or whatever and tearing up when they're all coming through the portals, like just like little things like that would be amazing just to see. Or bring back Korg, him and Korg sitting there when they reacted or whatever. That was an amazing little crossover they did. Do stuff like that.
And also like trying to figure out if he can cuss or not on this new,
right, because you know he's gonna have to address that at some point.
He's like, "Can I cuss now?" Okay, fuck. Okay, good.
It gets blinked or whatever. I'm not sure how you all are caught up on Star Wars, but Scott has a super chat here. Thank you, Scott, for the supporting. Do you think they will just condense Mando season 4 and any other potential seasons into the Mandoverse film? Will Ahsoka be a complete story? Okay. Mando season 4, no. I don't think they'll condense it.
No.
And I think the Mandoverse film is just going to cap and basically end the storyline setting up for Thrawn and Ahsoka.
And also, Ahsoka feels like a spin-off story of Rebels.
Yeah. And so I don't think it's going to be a complete story because Ahsoka is essentially setting up the movie. And maybe Mandalorian season 4 is the second part of what's setting up in Ahsoka because it's set in the same time period. So maybe. I don't know.
They need to recast King, though.
they showed as Jonathan Majors. It's like a little Kang appearing in the Marvels. I don't know. They showed Jonathan in the marketing, and right now Jonathan is proven innocent. Is innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So we can't. It's the same thing with Ezra. Ezra had a court date. I don't know how the outcome of that, but a lot of the stuff. I mean, look,
didn't he plead guilty though, and then got off with a slap on the hand?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Oh, that's a good question. Anthony here. Which version of Lex Luthor do you like more? Superman and Lois or Titans? Well, we saw
Rosenbaum.
we saw more of Michael Cutlets than we did of, I forget his name, but I remember him from Titans. He's been in a lot of stuff, but he, we saw more Michael, I don't know. They both had beards.
And Titans actually did a good job with Lex, but he was good and then he's dead.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There's a rumor that Mandalorian season 4 will be a movie. No, not that I know of. I mean, then again, there's nothing concrete. Why? There's a writer's strike.
Exactly.
And besides, Jon Favreau already confirmed they wrote season 4. So you would have to condense that down to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
And aside from that, I think Johnny Favs is done with Disney.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, with everything going on right now, I'm not sure what the future is with a lot of things right now. I mean, because it might be to where if Jon Favreau is going to move on, then Jon Favreau can hand the stuff over to Dave Filoni.
Well, and he wasn't
even fed up with Bob. Bob is
no. The thing is with John though is that he was a contract contract by contract employee. He was not like a full employee like Filoni.
Yeah.
So Favreau could have finished up what he wanted to do with the Mandalorian and just been like, peace.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I think once the strikes are done, that's where we're gonna get a lot of what's actually going to continue, what's going to be cut. Because if these residual stuff is changed for streaming residuals and everything, that's going to make all the streaming services, all the studios, second and third and three guess anything they do. Mm-hmm. Because if any project they make for streaming, well, if they have to pay a certain residual for that project, if it's not a big hit, if there's no guarantee it's going to be successful, they won't make it. Because what's the incentive for them to make a thing that will not really give them much of a return, but they have to pay a lot more money now for residuals.
I get that. Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think Star Wars and Marvel is going to be fine, but I think anything that is not a proven IP that can bring in an audience, they're going to guess. Mm-hmm. They're going to second guess everything, and Netflix is going to be the biggest one because Netflix makes everything.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if they had to pay residuals at the time, they would be paying out the ass for Squid Game and Wednesday, two gigantic shows. So, I don't know. Moff Gideon easily defeated both Din and Bo-Katan. Well, Moff Gideon's a badass, and it's Carla. It's Carla. It's like, what do you expect? He has a mustache.
And I also kind of found it funny that people are now like saying that Mando is supposed to be like a one character show. I'm like, it's Mandalorian. It's every single one. It's not like generic to one character.
I would agree with that if they actually focus on multiple Mandalorians throughout each season. But they only really focus on, and now this past season it's been Bo-Katan as well.
Yeah.
But if they would have said in season 1, okay, here's Din, cool. All right, here's another Mandalorian. Okay. In season 2, here's Din again. Here's another Mandalorian. Here's another Mandalorian. We're going to kind of go jumping around. I would understand that point. But people are saying, oh, they're going to switch. They're going to make it to where Bo-Katan's going to be the Mandalorian. It's season 4, and they're going to get rid of Din. No, because what's the selling point of the Mandalorian? Bo-Katan? Sure, because it's Katie Sackhoff, and she's awesome. Cool character. They brought her into live action. Amazing. But the reason why season 1 was so successful is because of Grogu and Din.
Oh yeah,
dynamic.
Easily.
So,
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
We didn't know Grogu until season 2.
Yoda of the baby variety. I'm waiting for him to speak.
I'm waiting for him to actually be a Mandalorian Jedi. That'll be cool.
I'm waiting for him to say his first words, and it's going to be James Earl Jones. Hi.
It's like, may the Force be with you.
Oh my God, Jar Jar. Misa. Oh God.
No. Force be with you, dear Daddy.
Let's not do that.
Daddy. Jesus, I called him Daddy. Let's see. People are just chatting away.
Oh yeah, so that Ben 10 episode. That's crazy,
the one
right?
I watched on Sunday.
Yep.
God, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm loving Ben 10 Alien Force. First time watching it. It's been a crazy journey. I'm watching episode.
It's been 30 years since I've seen Ben 10.
It's not that old.
Since 2003.
No, was it 2003? Yeah, that's the original series.
That's what I was like saying. It's been so long since I watched it.
Yeah, I'm on the sequel series, the second of 4 continuity-wise Alien Force.
Like I know what I'm talking about. I know there's original.
It was an original series, yeah. Yeah. I'm watching the next episode. I think Thursday. I don't know because I might go to the movie. I might go to the movies. I might finally see Oppenheimer. And probably go watch the Meg 2.
Yeah, I actually want to see Meg 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's gonna be good.
I like the first one.
As soon as I got into like anime, I started watching like the entire Pokemon series just from start to finish. And believe me, I got tired and sick and tired of like we're blasting off again. I'm like, no, just go.
Blasting off again. But that's their catchphrase.
Yeah, it's like it's at a certain point it gets irritating. I'm like, I know you're about to be defeated. Why are you doing this?
The Batman versus Dracula. Well, that was a good movie. I like that.
Oh yeah, that was good.
It was darker than I thought. I wasn't prepared for. the Joker actually becomes a vampire. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
and needing Batman to like get him blood, you know.
That scene in that room with all those vials, that was an incredible scene. That I'm like, my God, this proves that like this continuity of the show in movie form really can step it up, because the show can never do stuff like that. It's just like,
because it aired on Kids WB, which obviously is a kids network, and that's why it didn't go as deep as the animated series. But when this movie came out, like, we're gonna show the more darker side of
which I was surprised. And then I was like questioning, how are they going to explain this in the when you continue to season 3? How, they found a loophole, but it's like, guys, how do you then go from, okay, we have villains, we have, you know, over the top stuff, we had Dracula and everybody were turning into vampires. How are you going to pull this off? It's like, you know, it's fine. That shot though of like the light and Batman standing in front of it with his cape up and everything in front of Dracula, God, that shot's iconic.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I would say Dracula in the movie is sort of like the writer's loophole for introducing a version of Ra's al Ghul. I don't know if you realize it. They both have a similar look and everything. They both have a similar backstory of immortal men and all that. So, I feel like that was a loophole because, you know, there was like,
I wanted to see more of Transylvania, because they teased and show off the castle, but they don't ever go in. I'm like, go in the castle. I want to see because I thought, is Batman going to Transylvania? No, Dracula is in Gotham. I'm like, oh, this is worse. But I wanted to see Transylvania. I wanted to see the castle. I want to see, if you're going to do Dracula, give me Dracula. Show me the castle. Show me the wives. Whatever. Show me some really cool shit, and then get to Gotham. But no, they're like, well, he was on a ship. Like, okay, so he's been here this whole time. He's been here this whole time. And then out of everybody, Penguin had to be the one to fight him. Of course, it had to be Penguin.
Speaking of Ben 10, I was just giving a rough estimate, The Stranger, and also I was
his rough estimate was off.
Yeah, I was about off by 2 years. 2005 is when it came out.
Yeah, you're off by like 18. It's 18.
Well, no, like
you said 30 years.
Yeah, I was quoting like I'm old.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all old or getting older. You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. If Dracula was successful, we would have got an adaptation of Hush.
Oh, really? As the next movie? Damn.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was literally an adaptation of Hush, and they were gonna have Thomas Elliott. I've seen concept art, I think, somewhere. I don't know how legit it is, but nice. Joker, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Catwoman, Riddler, and Clayface, the Ethan Bennett version, was going to be in the story. Yeah, they were going to be in the story, so
that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Why can't we have nice things?
Nah,
it would have definitely been better than the Hush movie we got.
Ooh.
Or the Hush actual live action one that we got too.
Oh yeah.
Batman smells rotten late in
Right. I also was kind of annoyed. We finally got Hush in Arkham Knight, but it was like a side quest story that was hardly anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one with the phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you show up as Hush, taking over, and then Batman comes in. He reveals himself, Bruce Wayne, and then you like distract him and take him out. It's like a small little thing. I'm like, you're finally going to give us Hush in this, because like they were just trying to cram in as everything that they could not get in the first 2 games into this last one to kind of try to give the fans as much as they want. But
which I respect. Yeah.
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 And then the biggest travesty, that they put Deathstroke in a fucking tank. They don't give you another Deathstroke fight. They put him in a tank.
Deathstroke doesn't need to be in a tank.
No. Deathstroke's probably more deadlier than a tank.
Yeah.
Let him out. Let him do something, you know? Batman runs his ass over with a
It's like, sorry.
That'd be the way to go out. He jumps out of that tank. Come on, Batman.
What do you guys think of the Batman, the Bad Blood movie?
It was okay.
It was solid.
It was okay.
I like the fact they introduced Batwoman. They literally had every single character, and of course, at the end, they had to throw in, Batgirl here. Here's at the end the credits too.
Yeah, I always get annoyed with that all the time with these movies. They got a character showing up in another
At
film.
the very
like,
end, and then it cuts.
where have they been?
Yeah, because my thing is, you had every other character in the fucking planet in the Bat family in the movie, and then here's comic accurate Batgirl from the New 52. Cut.
Yeah.
I
I think my favorite one, I forget what it's called, but it's the one where Kara comes to Earth and Batman is suspicious of her. And
Batman, Superman.
Apocalypse.
Oh God.
Was it
My-
Apocalypse? Yeah, because I know
Batman
Darkseid.
Superman Apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Apocalypse.
And also, what makes that better? Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Yep. And which one was doing the voice for Superman?
I'm on IMDb right now. It's Tim Daly.
Tim Daly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And Susan
Yeah.
Eisenberg was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Summer Glau was Kara.
Okay.
Ed,
Slade
As-
Wilson's-
Ed Asner was Granny Goodness. What?
Yeah.
Wasn't
That's-
Summer Glau in the Arrowverse? If I'm remembering
Yes, she
her
was.
face right. Okay, yeah.
Was she? Let me look
Yeah,
her
she
up.
Yeah,
was,
she was the chick that was taking over Oliver's company in season 2.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's her. And she's
Holy
also from Firefly.
I didn't even know that. That is crazy. I did not know that was the same person.
Yep.
Well, I think she's also where is her credits? I'm looking.
And IDMB.
Wasn't she also on the Sarah Jane? Not Sarah Jane, but oh crap. The Terminator.
I think she was on Angel and Buffy too. One of the shows. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, I'm confusing her with someone else because I'm like, she looks like someone who was on the first season of Star Trek Picard, and it's not her, it's someone else. Looks familiar to her though. Interesting. She hasn't done much recently. Woo Assassins? I think I saw the spin-off movie to that.
Oh yeah, so she was in the Sarah Connor Chronicles
Mm.
TV show. That's what I was thinking of as well.
Interesting that the top billing for the Superman Batman Apocalypse is Andre Braugher as Darkseid.
Interesting.
Yeah, Kevin's second. That makes sense. Kevin should be first.
I agree.
Yep, she was an angel. So it was one of the. Yep, she was an angel.
You know,
Buffy.
I still literally get mad at myself because I could have easily at any point gotten a cameo from Kevin. I just never did it. Never thought about ordering a cameo, and I could have done it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I could have done the same thing.
I hate it.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I was
Cape was
lucky.
a good series too. I like the Cape. That was a good one.
Like, what surprised me was that my sister was able to get me a cameo on my birthday a few years ago. And I was like, oh, shoot. So I was like,
That's awesome.
hey.
of Kevin.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was very surprised. It was an emotional moment.
I should have went to. I should have started. I don't go to con events. I should have gone to con events. Maybe I could have met him. And again, this past weekend with the whole controversy with Steven, I could have been at that con. but the photo shoot with Grant and Steven, the both times they had with Grant and Steven photos were sold out. So I'm like,
I bet.
if I'm gonna go, I need to get both.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. What if I was there for that panel and I heard it live when he said that? Ooh. I could have got the scoop because it came out Monday. I could have literally started tweeting this shit out and filming it out on Sunday.
You just broke out your camera and just filmed the entire thing.
I could have been the one who broke the news.
Yeah.
They would have to go to me as the source who originally first shared that Stephen Amell said this.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Been seeing your name in articles.
Yeah, Chainsaw Reacts failed YouTuber. That's what I'll say.
Which version of Kal Al Ghul? The one with okay.
Yeah.
Nope.
Who do you like better, Bruno Mannheim and Superman Lois, or Tobias? Wait, he had more of a role in Superman and Lois than Arrow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Tobias was just kind of there just to kind of build up Prometheus.
Yeah.
But Talia al Ghul, I mean, Talia had more of a role in Arrow.
She did.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Dark Knight,
I felt like it was too obvious in the dark with Christian Bale.
Yeah, because literally in the Dark Knight Rises, she's just like laying in the truck. I had to get revenge on you. Dead. It's like, okay. The things, hey, I will say this. Even though I would have liked to see more Talia, I wish they would have gave us more Talia, but they gave us a lot of Nissa, which I actually liked seeing Nissa.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
And her always reference. I love when she always referenced Oliver husband. When it's like, it's just so funny how it just like it makes him uncomfortable, and everyone else is like, okay. And then of course she had to talk to Felicity about it. It's like, well, you know, me and him were married. He's like, it's like she's like, I know, but he's still my husband, technically, from my father. I agree 100%. The best fight in Supergirl was when she first fought Rain in the season 3.
Oh yeah,
mid-season finale. That was, I remember my reaction's still up on that. I was like losing my mind. I'm like, this is amazing. This is so badass. And of course, Kara had to lose because she had to.
Yeah,
She's never fought anybody that powerful before. So
yeah, the Zoom effect.
And it was the middle of the season. So technically, she shouldn't be winning until the finale.
Yeah, literally. And then they went a direction I wasn't expecting. They had multiple versions, essentially, of Rain as other entities or whatever that eventually all got morphed into Rain as being this all powerful, force. I'm like, Jesus Christ! And then of course, and Kara took a page from Barry and decided to fuck up the timeline. It's like, I'm just okay. She killed everybody. I want to make sure she doesn't do that again. And then she creates another version of herself, and then they do a version of Red Sun.
And then they used that same clip to to tie in something like her PTSD, which I thought I was like, it's been 2 years. Shouldn't she gotten over it by now?
People are different. I don't know.
Because it was brought up again in season 6 after 2 years.
Yeah, I've yet to finish season 6. I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
I'll save you the trouble.
No, don't worry. I already know in the finale they bring everybody back, and I've already seen how it ends. So
I will say they totally written Kara out just because she was pregnant.
Well, I mean, I did see the first 2 episodes, so I did see where she was out, and then when Melissa finally came back to shoot, they had to shoot all of her stuff quickly to get the episodes completed.
Yep, all in the Phantom Zone. Literally, I think she comes back in the 7th or 8th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, because she's finally actually back on set.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I haven't caught up. It's like how I stopped watching Legends years ago.
I don't blame you.
Legends was okay. I could not stand the first season, but from the second season on, it was just one of those campy, goofy shows.
Yeah, I didn't take it so seriously. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
So after season 3, it became campy, joking show.
Yeah, that was such a
it was like
shift.
They just went off the rails. They put the brain out there.
Yeah.
First 2 seasons were serious with a bit of comedy, and then season 3 onward started to become legit comedy.
Because season 1 was trying to do let's take the team aspect of Arrow and Flash and everything, and let's just do that each week with all these characters. And it's like, this is not feasible. We can't keep doing this. It's too much. So got to switch it up. And then they kept getting rid of people and people not wanting to come back, and then they had to keep replacing. That's the one thing I think they replaced so many people on that show.
And that's why it feels like it's it's fresh. They can start NCIS to where it's 20 seasons. Because everyone loses jobs, everyone can die because it's like a death or life situation going against bad guys.
Yeah, that's why they killed off Hawkman in this season, the part 2 pilot for Legends, because we wanted to show that anything can happen.
Right.
Well, there's other ways you can do that without killing off a character.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be a lead in your show.
And then they brought him back, and then they retired.
Again,
but it's a CW. What are you gonna do?
Welcome to the CW, the place with there. It's off topic, but it's tied to you. There are still people that think because Riverdale is on Netflix, and sometimes with the international deal, it says Netflix original because their rights that they have for the streaming of it. there are still people that think Netflix produces Riverdale. That they're the one, because someone made it blew up on TikTok. Someone made a TikTok saying, "Oh, Riverdale's about to end." People are like, "I'm so happy because Netflix, they should not have kept renewing that show when they canceled." So I'm like, "Oh my god, okay, I can't argue with these people because you can't win this because they're not going to listen. They don't make it." And people try to like, it's CW makes no, it's on Netflix. It's Netflix original. I'm like, okay, I can't.
People on Twitter cannot be reasoned with. They just can't be.
Well,
it's very hard.
With X now being there, it's just hard to actually listen to logic.
Yes.
Top 5 favorite Mandoverse good guys. Everybody. Mando, Bo-Katan, Grogu,
Cara Dune.
Luke.
Luke, yes,
Luke Skywalker.
That was like the most epic scene out of all of it.
Ahsoka, yeah, exactly. I will say though, that Luke scene in the Book of Boba Fett that whole episode is insane when you think about the season 2 finale of Mandalorian in comparison to the actual like deep fake of it all. It's incredible the change of CGI to that deep fake. It's insane because it literally looks like they pulled Mark Hamill from a timeline of around 1983, 84, 85 and brought him in to shoot.
I know, it was crazy good, man.
Glitching's kinda. The glitching out of Miles was glitching in the spot. Yeah, because Miles was having slight glitches when he was on another Earth that he's not supposed to be on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the difference is Loki disappeared in the pilot. In the trailer, he like disappeared. Like, can we fix that? It's like, well, no. In the TV, like you just saw it happen though. He just disappeared. Who knows where he went to though? That's the question. When he time splits and he disappears like that in front of Ke Huy Quan's character, where does he go? Does he go to a timeline he's not supposed to be in?
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing. And is that because at the end of season 1 of Loki, he's on another timeline he's not supposed to be on? Because movies is who he is.
When he disappears, it kind of reminds me of the time where he pulls out his twin dagger and he's like, "You want to go? Let's go." And then he's like, Doctor Strange's like, "Okay, bye."
Yeah.
The last episode of season 1 went pretty hard, man. I hope season 2 can like pick up that momentum and keep it going.
Hopefully. I mean, the thing is, right now the MCU's track record for shows has not been great.
No, it hasn't.
I haven't even watched Secret Invasion. I already know what happens all over Twitter, but eventually I'll watch it. But it's like all I heard was, "Oh, all these amazing twists and reveals," but then it amounts to nothing. It's
the best line that I've heard so far, and I'm only up to season or episode 3, is Nick Fury says, "I'm Nick Fury. Even when I'm out, I'm in."
Basically,
and I'm like, okay,
I'm out, and they somehow find a way to pull me back in.
And what do everyone think about the whole Rhodey reveal? Now that we're talking about that, was everyone pissed just like us?
I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not gonna lie.
All the way to Civil War,
right?
I really confirmed.
This is a good point. Why is this invasion?
The director actually confirmed it. He actually said, "Yeah."
Yeah, well, so it's called Secret Invasion because they're doing a version with the Skrulls. Thing is, it should have been a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Should have had actual Avengers in it.
Yeah.
Versus just a couple of side characters. And I know Rhodey was in it, but if you're going to do Secret Invasion, because, okay, I don't know if you guys have seen Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes animated series.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal show. They handled Secret Invasion so good. And then you look at what they do with the MCU. Oh my God, guys, what are you doing? I'm not saying they have to carbon copy Secret Invasion, but at least that show properly adapted. And then, of course, they went episodes without addressing it, but we know that's not cap. But it's so good how they're pulling it off, though. It's like
Kevin Feige also said, "Don't look at the material."
That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem because I'm reading Secret Invasion right now.
Yeah, and it's an amazing arc, and I feel like Earth's Mightiest Heroes did a good version of their own version of that story within the continuity that they set up with their show. Man, I hate that. I need to get back and talk with fucking what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Joshua Fine. who was the executive producer. I need to get him on a stream to talk about this shit. I haven't talked to him in a bit. I need to reach out to him again because when I've interviewed him and talked about him working on this show, he's like, man, we had so many ideas. Like they were thinking of doing Thanos in that show. They were thinking of doing X-Men, like fully bringing in the X-Men. So they introduced Wolverine. They were going to do that. They had a lot of ideas, and they wanted, and they actually recorded with Josh Keaton, Spectacular Spider-Man in their continuity, and then they got replaced by the people above them with Drake Bell.
And when you think about it, they had powers that were redundant, like Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they did a pretty good job with how they did, because I wasn't expecting Winter Soldier when I started the show. I'm like, oh my god, they're actually doing Winter Soldier in this. This is cool, and it's not. And the show wasn't MCU based like Avengers Assemble is. That's what I really appreciate more. Yeah, it's definitely like 60s era like style of their costumes, but man, it works and it's so good.
And what are they going to do with this most powerful character in the MCU with every single Avenger powers? And they don't really need the Avengers to be Avengers.
Yeah, there's a theory now with all that happened that character is going to be revealed to be dying because their body can't sustain all that power. Which that would be a way to get
father then, yeah. But I would like to see Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, I feel bad because Emilia Clarke went from Game of Thrones, this amazing show that ended on a crap note, and then she goes to the MCU and like, oh my god, she's in Secret Invasion. Oh my god, this can be great. And then look what happens at the end.
Yeah,
and it's like again, like it happened twice. She gets two nickels for it happening more than once about being in a bad finale.
And it sucks because I like her.
Yeah, I do like her.
She has good stage presence or screen presence.
Yeah. Going back to Avengers vs. My Heroes, the good thing about watching season 2, especially the episodes that don't have nothing to do with the Skrulls, there are little hints of the future episodes. For example, episode 2, when they went to Stark Industries and Skrull Cap got the technology, and remember when Dr. Doom gave him the device to detect Skrulls, and they hacked it because they're like, yeah, we went through all your technology and planted this, for your downfall. So I like that.
Yeah. Well, I think Emilia is saying that she loved the finale because she was the one that was able to do all the crazy shit. She didn't turn and go evil and go crazy and shit. And thing is, too, people are still theorizing, and I get this theory because we see Drogon at the end carrying her body off into the snow, like she's just flying away. There's like a theory that maybe he's taking her somewhere where she can be brought back if they were to continue the story, which I don't think that's going to happen. But if that Jon Snow show is happening, because he's the one who, so. If they're going to continue his story, what if she was brought back?
Mm-hmm.
And her only goal is Jon Snow to get him for what? I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
With Disney, nothing would surprise me at this point. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. That was a theory too that Captain Marvel was going to be in the show. In the finale,
that would have made sense.
That would be also kind of like funny, like how if she has, if both of them have Captain Marvel powers, why was it one blast, one hit through the chest to stop him with Captain Marvel powers?
Because that's logical, and they don't write logical plots.
Yeah, why would you?
It's a TV show. Movie in like 5 minutes.
It's a TV show. They're rushing. That's what the problem is. Like giving them 6 episodes is a terrible thing. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I think they had like a film, like they were trying to make a film out of a TV show, and that didn't work because it's supposed to be a TV show format, and they were trying to push it as a film format.
Well, the thing is too, like based off of what we know, Secret Invasion cost $212 million to make.
Yeah. A lot of money for a 6
episode
show.
Yeah, and a lot of people said like the first 5 episodes, there isn't really a lot of like where's all that money going to for the first 5 episodes? Because from what I'm understanding, they don't go to a lot of locations or at least big extravagant places that need a lot of CGI. It's like more of a grounded show. I don't know.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, well, yeah, they did say it was reported, it's not confirmed, that he was $20 million to get him to sign on.
I'm not surprised.
He's a big actor.
Yeah.
Does he deserve $20 million? I don't know about that.
I don't know if anybody deserves $20 million.
I don't know that. The Rock definitely does not deserve $50 million for that Christmas movie he's
insane.
in. $50 million. And then he did donate a couple million to the funds for SAG's strike, which is good.
Yeah.
But the dude has been for years getting paid way more money than he should to star in movies.
I honestly don't think he should be not able to lose in a fight because his contract.
His contract, he can't lose.
It just astounds me, man. When Black Adam opened up, grossed like 450 million worldwide.
Under 400.
Okay, under 400 worldwide. So as like a thing of thank you, they're going to pay him $50 million for a new project. It's like, the only way that Dwayne Johnson has ever performed well on screen is with an ensemble, the Jumanji movies. They did fairly well. Yes. But him by himself, not so much.
Yeah, it's like a thing. Like, it'd be different if, they said, okay, we're going to pay him a certain amount of money up front, but the back end, if it does well,
that's it.
That makes more sense because you have it's been successful. It's proven that it's actually been successful. But I think the main issue with Black Adam is that it took way too long to make, and then the budget was over $200 million.
Hierarchy will change. Yep.
Yeah.
Can you have me back to Fast and Furious, please?
It went way through too many regime changes too.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like it costs over $200 million to make, and when you look at, and I know it's like a weird comparison because they're two different movies, but when you look at the comparison of, say, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, the second Shazam, which obviously flopped too, that cost $100 million, and you could argue that it looks pretty much as good CGI wise as Black Adam. You can say Black Adam may look stylistically better because of the coloring of it, but realistically, in terms of CGI, they're roughly the same. Black Adam may be more, but not over 200 million.
No.
Black Adam was a flop, Shazam 2 was a dead-end story, so people thought, they don't need to go see it.
Yeah. Shazam 2 unfortunately got the shit end of the stick. I thought it was a fine film. I actually enjoyed it.
I don't believe it should have been a flop.
I enjoyed The Flash too. But I'm a Keaton guy.
I enjoyed it too. I feel like one of the biggest problems is
the baby scene.
Not really. I feel like that thing has just been shit on so much. It is weird when you first see it for the first time, but it's the fact that instead of actually getting legit actual people on set to shoot cameos, you CGI everything.
The thing is what got me to be like, what the fuck? Why did you just cook the baby?
Well, yeah.
Well, as far as the CGI for the Speed Force, that didn't bother me because of people like Christopher Reeve and George Reeves and Adam West, that wouldn't be able to reprise the roles.
It goes to their decision on what cameos they wanted, because instead of actually getting cameos of people who could actually show up in Crisis,
right,
you go for people that can't actually be there. And the fact is too, Helen Slater physically was there to shoot her cameo, but then they de-aged her and CGI'd her instead. But maybe they used her as a reference for her cameo. But and there's also a thing too about George Reeves. George Reeves's connection to Superman after the fact is not good, because when he unalived himself, it was partly due to his connection to being typecast because of Superman.
So that's the whole wondering, Superman thing.
Yeah, so people are wondering, was that a good option, an idea? And I get the point at the time. It's the first live action Superman.
I mean, they could if they didn't want to do that, they could have gone with Kirk Allen, who was doing the serials before George Reeves.
Yeah. And I think just in general, as someone said, you could have got Grant Gustin for a cameo. You could have got Brandon Routh as Kingdom Come Superman, or the Superman for Superman Returns.
Yeah, which is essentially Clark from Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, they could have done that. They could have literally got, Val Kilmer. He could have shot something. They could have literally taken cameos that were already in Crisis, but did something else. But instead, they went for this route of a bunch of super characters, CGI,
dead people,
and they gave a cameo to a guy who never got his movie, Nick Cage, which was awesome.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But he didn't even get his movie. He gets a cameo over people that actually have projects that have actually helped further DC.
Where was Linda Carter?
Yeah, that was cut, and that would have been CGI probably too. That would have been CGI because they were making everybody look like themselves CGI at the time of when they were in it. Because it wasn't like they did an older Christopher Reeve to match up an older Helen Slater Supergirl.
Right.
They brought them to what they look like, even though Christopher Reeve looked more like himself. But the Helen Slater, she didn't really look like herself in Supergirl. It was like, it's kind of like her face, but not really.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of odd.
They could have added like Laura Vandervoort, Melissa Benoist.
Yeah, I mentioned that when we did our stream talking about the Flash spoilers. I said, they could have done something with Melissa. I know she's done with the
I know they did this before, but I would have liked to see Tom Welling in a CGI suit. Just his face just in CGI.
It's just a shot at the end of Smallville.
Yeah, like,
well, that's the thing.
That would have been awesome.
Archive footage, like they put on archive footage for those actors.
They could have archived.
Yeah,
that's what Titans did. That's what Titans did when Beast Boy was in the Red. He literally saw archive footage of Barry Allen. He saw archive footage
of himself in cartoon form.
Yeah, that was crazy too. And then you heard Harley Quinn. What was I going to say? Oh, so when the movie came out digitally, people noticed this too. So the quick shot of Adam West's Batman. They didn't complete the CGI. There's no ears.
Oh crap!
It's just a dome.
They were so small. You didn't notice.
Yeah, you didn't notice when people zoomed in, and also too, people also noticed because it's like layered or whatever, like those little cameo shots. If you actually zoom in, you will actually see Robin, like non-completed Robin in there in one of those things. And it's like, guys, if you're gonna go all in, go all in.
Right.
Like if you're gonna go CGI, just give us a CGI Burt Ward. Even though we have Burt Ward and he was in Crisis as himself, and he says this iconic line, which was amazing. Didn't need to be there, no, but it was amazing. So it's fine. But go all in, just show all that stuff. The Joker laugh, Cesar Romero. Who cares?
You could
right there.
Yeah, you totally could.
Yeah.
Why so serious?
Yeah, I would have freaked out if they got Batman Beyond. If anything, if they had like Nick Cage, Superman,
they could add characters that we have never seen before, like Batman Beyond in live action.
Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern.
Yeah, everybody in the theater would have freaked out and be like, "Oh my god!"
Just add Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. That would be the best thing ever.
Or Ryan Reynolds saying, with the Deadpool suit on, and then putting up a sign, "Wrong TV show."
or like Ryan Reynolds looking at the Green Lantern script
and being shot.
Reference.
So why did they change the clue then? Well, I think the simplest answer is the fact that they're having it to where this version of Flash is not gonna. It's just gone.
Yeah.
That this version of Flash is never going to come back to the new continuity that's being established for the DCU. And also, I think it also kind of proves the point, as it's been beautifully said in the Flash with Jay talking to Barry, showing the glass and it breaks, and then when he puts it back together, it's not fully complete because all the cracks. That's pretty much implying, yeah, Barry, you did fix it. Your mom was killed, but you also altered time because you then saved your dad from being arrested. Or you got him acquitted because the footage came out. Well, that changes the timeline. So even though you did fix the ultimate problem, which was getting Supergirl and Batman killed,
did you just cross like Flash TV show and the Flash movie?
Yeah,
because there was a spaghetti montage of how.
Yeah, but I think that they basically took that version of what Jay's conversation with Barry and just did that for the spaghetti. But it's the same concept. Like regardless, Barry still screwed up. Yeah. And now he's stuck with his consequences. He probably can't, because see, if he tries to fix this, it will then cause other problems. So he'll continuously be stuck to where he cannot come back to the continuity that is basically ending.
And I still think it's a missed opportunity for them not to introduce like the Crisis little scene that they did.
Yeah. Thing is, too, Keaton at the end, that would just imply Keaton is continuing, and he's not.
He
That's
was
why they
originally
kept-
supposed to, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because the original ending was Keaton and Sasha, and then they changed it where Keaton and Sasha, and then Gal shot a cameo when she shot her cameo for the opening. They got Henry Cavill to come back, and then they swapped all that out for this. So when I'm pretty sure
I want to see the 4-hour cut.
when they shot the opposite side with Ezra, I bet some of that footage of Ezra on just by himself or by themselves, sorry, the other end is probably is Keaton at times.
Probably.
But then they did do reshoots, so maybe they didn't use any of that footage. But I don't know, that conversation, like they could have
This may when I'm thinking back at Henry Cavill's Superman, has he ever like freeze breathed someone?
No.
only
think so.
in the Justice League.
He actually freeze breathed.
I don't know if he froze, but he did do the breath.
Oh, and Steppenwolf.
Because
It did freeze. It did freeze. He froze the hammer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Because I'm trying to think of like a time because he was fighting a volcano with his heat vision. And I'm thinking, shouldn't he be using freeze breath?
Well, he's redirecting. No, he also uses it in the Snyder Cut. Yes, he does. Because when it hits him, not impressed. I think he does the freeze.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He did.
I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna pull it up and pull the scene up. I'm gonna look on
I've only
Max
seen
right now.
that fighting
He was
You only
like
seen it
fighting a
once?
volcano in
Yeah.
the Flash movie. I'm like, shouldn't he be using freeze breath to stop it?
Well, I mean, you would think.
I love how all I have to do is type in Snyder. It pulls it up. Snyder. All right. We're 43 minutes left. Jesus, where would I stop? They're like, hey, Steppenwolf. Hey. Okay, let's see if we can find it.
Does anyone find it weird that James Gunn said Blue Beetle's his first DCU character, but the film is not connected?
Yeah, that is weird.
It's like, okay, so a variant, I guess? Like, how that works?
So we're going to take this actor and this character into the universe, but this movie's not. It's not connected. So
they knew the box office might not save it. So,
I mean, it's an HBO Max made thing. It's not going to do well.
Boom.
Okay, he does use
Yep,
he does. Okay.
They have something set up to where you can't screen share it or StreamYard. They fucking stopped it. I was gonna show the little shot. Damn. All right, never mind. Let me see. Okay, I removed it. Is it gonna load the movie up? And the movie's back up. Yeah. So he literally gets hit and then he freezes the axe. Yeah.
I shared something. Try mine.
Oh, did you actually get it to work?
Yeah.
Well, let me actually stop my screen. Okay.
Yeah, he begins to.
He does it there in a different part. But when he's introduced in the Snyder Cut, he still freezes it. But it's when he's about to go slam it on Cyborg, and then he's because that shot you're seeing right there on the far left, not impressed. Yeah, freeze breath. So he freezes it there. So at 2 points he does it.
Okay, because the only one that's supposed to be canon in the DCEU is the Justice League one.
Yep.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, which is stupid.
And that's CGI.
Like disputing that.
Yeah, CGI. Yeah. Who's better with their shows, DC or Marvel? Well, right now DC's doing better.
Yeah, easily.
I think if you look at the overall everything that Marvel and DC have done, DC's had a better track record of animated stuff.
It's kind of funny because DC does TV shows and animation better, but Marvel sucks at it. Then you get Marvel does a hit and miss, but then when you go to films, Marvel does better with films, but DC is a hit or miss.
Yeah. It was never that way, like with the Reed films and then the Keaton films, DC was hitting, but DC only wanted to go all in on Batman from that point on. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're in that situation with DC right now. And
we've always gotten mainly Superman or Batman. We've never actually gotten anything past them. It'll be nice.
Yeah, I imagine
we can actually spread out.
Yeah,
That
imagine
would be
like in
nice.
1995 we would have gotten the Flash,
Wow. Yeah.
And then go on, more and more like through
Because
the
it
90s.
wasn't good, we can't get a live action Flash until like now, and it bombed. So we're not
Right.
going to get it again.
Yeah,
And
it sucks because I love the Flash as a
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. And
But
Marvel.
if they take after the Flash TV show, then they might actually have a chance to make a live action one. If they stick with Ezra Miller as the Flash to decide whether they're or not they're going to make a Flash movie, don't do that.
I wouldn't model it off of the Flash TV show because Team Flash is not something that they would need to.
No, not Team Flash, just the Flash character being like a popular character.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I agree.
No,
If
see,
you
I
go
was
with
trying.
Ezra Miller's Flash, you're going to be getting with like the whole court thing and everything, tied to that.
What were you saying, Amazing Webhead?
No, see, I was trying to say that Marvel had good shows and potential movies. It's just they always screw themselves because of either Disney or rights issues, like what Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, because Spectacular Spider-Man was a Sony thing, Sony animated.
Yeah.
But they had potential to actually make good product, good shows, or good films. Like I thought Hulk was not bad, or Hulk versus Wolverine was great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was okay.
Well, I think Marvel and DC overall have had great animated content, but it's like to where can this work in live action? Can
like
the stuff they're pulling off in animated work
like
in live action?
Inhumans is a prime example of a bad
Humans
TV show.
would have been a great animated series.
Mhm.
They would not be limited on budget.
And then you have like Daredevil, the Netflix one, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they
I would
started,
be-
and then you got Luke Cage, which is also equally awesome and stuff.
I would
like
have
that.
zero issue if we just went with animated universes from this point on, because you're going to have something closer to the comic source material as far as like the characters, the way they move, than you're going to get in the movie, and it's going to be cheaper.
That's true. The main thing is just make sure the animators are actually getting treated fairly, because as we heard with Across the Spider-Verse, they were basically rushed, and they were basically overworked.
Yep.
But the end result is amazing. But it's unfortunate that they had to go through all that, and people were quitting left and right. But your point is valid, because in terms of animation, the actors don't have to bulk up for the heroes. They don't all they have to do is go into their booths, get the dialogue recorded, and then go back in for ADR or touch-ups, and then literally they have free reign to do whatever. But then here's the thing too, with animation, we just saw what happened with Warworld. They had free reign to do whatever they wanted, and instead of giving us not an adaptation copy by copy of Warworld, but give us something more entertaining and worth watching than what they gave us. So that's the other thing too.
But that's why you need somebody like Andrea Romano.
Andrea Romano,
who was like ahead of all of those animated series and films. She kept everybody on point. So you need somebody like that cracking the whip.
Yeah, because the quality was there for the Superman, Batman animated series, Justice League Unlimited, and then Static Shock, Batman Beyond. All of that stuff had consistency, and like DC has had good films. Like the New 52 timeline of stuff, I think majority of that stuff was actually either solid or even better. But it's like if they're not being reined in, and they're not actually thinking about the bigger picture, because I feel like they weren't even really thinking too much about how our audience is actually going to respond to the fact that we're not telling them anything about Warworld until more than halfway through the movie, and they're going to be confused as hell, like the characters. But to me, that's not enjoyable, because all I'm doing is going, why are we watching this? Where is the story? Why am I watching Wonder Woman as in Wild Wild West? Why do I care? I don't care.
Right.
It doesn't matter, because it didn't matter to the story. So Yeah, that's the thing. I hopefully with James Gunn, if they're going to do animated, that James Gunn will rein it in and actually, make sure certain quality is sustaining. Can I help you? Come here. My dog's. She decided to wake up. Come here.
I actually have a suggestion for Marvel. Actually, like we know the MCU will always be front and center, but it would be cool for Disney Plus to actually have an animated universe. They part of the multiverse. You know what I mean? Like, what if they do a animated universe, like what they did before with Ultimate Spider-Man, Avengers Assemble, but actually have good quality and all that. You can even bring back EMH and have that be part of the MCU multiverse. Like, this is what they're doing, like X-Men 97 is doing.
Do that. Bring back the 90s Spider-Man series
like,
is what I want.
Like
cool.
they have like an anime universe, like for the 52 and DC, they can have like an anime universe for the Marvel, like specifics, comic runs.
Yeah.
That tie into it. Yeah. I am looking forward to the Spider-Man Noir that was announced.
Oh, Noir? Yeah.
Yeah, Noir.
So, do you have anything on this Spider-Man Noir? Are you going to star in it? Just going to keep you on?
No. He's black and white. He might actually fit in it.
Maybe.
No, it's a gender bit. Lucy here. She's going to be gender bit Spider-Man Noir. She's going to bark at anything that
He's going to be Spider Dog.
Spider
Dog.
You're going to be Spider Dog. You were sleeping with Mom. What happened? Did you leave Mom? Why did you leave her? Was she kicking you? Was she beating you up?
Because she was my Uncle Ben.
I had to leave her before it was over.
I wonder. Can I share a screen?
Go for it.
All right. This just happened to pop up, and I know this was back in November, but
Lucy, quiet.
Let's see.
I don't know why she barked.
All right. So James Gunn, this is back in November, and he said making plans around the Kingdom Come. I wonder if the animated movie got canceled for a reason.
That's a good point. What if?
Yeah.
Because then again, people say, well, James Gunn tweeting out images isn't necessarily like proof. But then again, he tweeted out an image of Mr. Terrific. Mm-hmm. He tweeted out an image, I think, of Hot Girl at one point.
Yeah,
and both of them have been cast.
Yeah,
he hasn't lied.
So he's been teasing stuff. So
be interesting to see if there's actually a Kingdom Come storyline that's being live actioned.
Massive.
Maybe they're building up to their version of Kingdom Come. Maybe that's the first Justice League movie. Like maybe or maybe it could be animated.
Or it's part 1 of Superman Legacies. And we're going to see part 2 in the second part of After Gods and Monsters.
He would be way too young for Kingdom
Come.
No,
yeah.
Well, with the strike going on, it could be like he could age up.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah. But, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, you might be right, because like he's teased stuff before, and it's come true. Now he also posted a photo of Jonah Hex at one point, so so maybe that implies Jonah Hex is getting a show or maybe a movie in part 2 of Gods and Monsters. And then again, they said that all the stuff they announced was not even all of part 1.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
like a lot more.
Which has my interest peaked.
Yeah,
like what else? What else are we getting? Come on.
Do you know what the director meant by it being not connected to Swamp Thing being not connected to standalone story?
Wait, what about it?
Swamp Thing being unconnected to the actual connected DCU.
Oh, it will be. I mean, with what, like, unless it's specifically Elseworlds, then it's connected to whatever they're setting up, and it makes sense because Gods and Monsters, he literally is a monster.
I think that was just James Mangold saying James Mangold things on Twitter.
Yeah.
It could be a scenario like with Guardians.
Or forgot to hire a PR firm.
And that's even like providing that James is still going to get this job after Indiana Jones.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Andy getting the job as Batman after the Flash.
But No, the whole Swamp thing, I think that's maybe a scenario like the Guardians, where it's connected but self-contained, its own little bubble.
Mm.
The character will cross over later on. So
Yeah,
possible.
just like how they're kind of implying the Blue Beetle movie, which was not, it's not connected to the DC, but they're saying that the character is, and so they could essentially have Swamp Thing connect to the overarching stuff, but maybe whatever happens in Swamp Thing's movie maybe necessarily isn't going to be brought over in terms of a storyline.
Justice League Dark.
Maybe.
Now that'd be interesting, as long as they don't just throw in Batman like they did with the animated movie.
Leave him out.
Yeah, because that was all for marketing purposes to
Yeah.
get more people to watch Justice League Dark. Yeah, because the animated movie, they had all the essential characters for Justice League Dark, and what they did was let's throw Batman in so he's on the front cover so people know.
Yep.
Yeah. So as long as they don't do that, which by the way, they've been trying to do Justice League Dark for the longest time.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to do it within the DCEU, and it never
Didn't they
just
do it
happened.
though?
No.
Well, didn't we
No.
have a Justice League Dark movie?
No,
We had
Well,
animated movies.
Animated.
Yeah.
And Batman was shoehorned in.
Yeah.
But literally, they wanted to do a DCEU version of Justice League Dark within what they were
With the TV show. Yeah.
Well, I think they were developing a movie at one point too.
They
So
were.
they were trying so hard to get like anything off the ground. It's also the same company that when Suicide Squad, the first Suicide Squad in 2016, opened up as big as it was, and it was successful in terms of box office, they immediately relit in pre-production a Harley Quinn spinoff, a Deadshot Will Smith spinoff, and then they wanted to also potentially do a Birds of Prey or Gotham Sirens type thing with Harley and whatever. So it's
Didn't
like
they also greenlit like American Constantine with the sequel of
Keanu Reeves.
Kenny Reeves.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah, that was happening for a while, but
It was
I don't think
developed.
that's
Yeah,
happening.
they were wanting to do it, but James Gunn and
Like
Peter
how it's called
Safran.
American Constantine.
Yeah, I like how you call it American Constantine.
Imagine
You know-
Keanu Reeves scene for DCU.
Wait, what?
Imagine
I don't know
getting
about
him-
that. You know what? I wouldn't. I know it's not. He's already played him in live action, but just get Matt Ryan. He's perfect as
Yeah.
Constantine. Just
Yeah,
get him.
he
for
like
Constantine.
and taking back to more of the roots of the NBC season that he did, as opposed to when he was in the Arrowverse, because that show was much darker on NBC.
Well, yeah, I think they were allowed to be darker.
Yeah,
On there. I'm just blown away that they were able to do that and pull that off, because even though it was an NBC show, obviously Warner Brothers owns the rights, but I'm surprised they were allowed, because I think they had to get approval from NBC because it was their show that they had airing. I'm surprised they're allowing him to be on Arrow right now. And then of course he continued on into Legends and everything, but it's like, my God, I don't know. It was the same discussion that we had on Endless Multiverse last Friday, because we were discussing the NBC crossover, because at one point NBC was going to have Wonder Woman. And
really.
Yeah,
with Adriana.
Yeah, and I finally watched that pilot last week. I finally saw it. And I'm like, yeah, the suit could be changed. It's not the best. That's obviously the time period. It was way ahead of its time, because literally that show could have been made when Arrow and Flash were at their peak. Then they could have made the show. But
Not gonna lie, I kind of wanted the Aquaman spinoff of Smallville too. I like the premise of it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the pilot per se, but
Like, even if they didn't get the show off the ground, which it didn't get off the ground, I would have loved to see Adrian Padalecki be Wonder Woman, like in the Arrowverse, like bring her over. Like,
why not?
They brought Constantine over,
Yeah.
and based on that pilot, they don't address. I mean, obviously it was before the Arrowverse even started, but like the way it was established, you could just say that, she had her company, which was the weirdest thing apart about the pilot, but then it went under, and then they just don't talk about it. And then now she pops up after being in hiding for a while, and she's Wonder Woman. It's just they could have just figured out a way, because literally, that's what they did with Constantine. They never addressed the fact that he had a show. It's just, he's just on this earth, and he was there on the island at one point, which makes no sense, but whatever.
Or they could just go with the typical Wonder Woman line, like with inside the Arrowverse, humans are becoming too violent, so she has to come from Themyscira, in order to try.
That would make sense because all the shows that are happening, there's so many metas that are popping up that maybe she went back to Themyscira and then now she's back again, and and realistically, I don't think they set a timeline of when that pilot took place. So realistically, they said that pilot, in terms of timeline wise, was like 5 years before the start of Arrow and Flash. So by the time she shows up, it's been a long time. Her company has basically gone under. She was on Themyscira. Now she's back because all of a sudden there's all these like meta humans popping up on the Flash and everything. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? So she comes back and goes, what is going on, people?
And the whole like dangling a cheese in front of us about Aquaman, Atlantean tech, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah.
And then actually putting Arthur on a car list for Earth 2, where he sees like a bunch of names.
Oh my God.
Arthur's one of them.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I'm gonna call my mom. It's like, no, call that person. No, call that person. Barry, what are you doing? And the deleted scene of them referencing Atlantis in The Flash season 1. There's a deleted scene. It's like they reference like some of that Barry, like like looking for underwater people or something in Atlantis or something. I'm like, that's a weird line, but all right, cool. But then they cut it. It's like, whatever.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
but that would have been expensive.
Like, then again, they don't know how long, because once they get into the editing of these episodes, they don't know what they're going to keep. They know roughly, but they don't know if when they film a scene for 5 minutes, or it's a 5-minute long scene, but they actually cut it down to 3, they need more time to pad it out. Or if like, oh, we were thinking this is going to be a 3-minute scene, but it's actually going on for 4, so we got to cut something. Like, that's crap. I think they should just better structure. Or better yet, don't put it on the CW. Put out an hour-long episode on streaming. Which is
like Team Arrow and Team Flash. Do you think they structure them a little bit wrong instead of like how Team Arrow includes like Felicity and Diggle? They could have like done like Green Lantern or Green Arrow.
They wouldn't be able to afford it.
Well, I mean, like, would that be a better team than what they did?
Diggle was good.
I love Diggle.
Kid Flash. Being the sidekick for the series, as Team Flash.
I would like it. You would have to definitely cut episodes because you can't do 23 episodes with that amount of stuff. But
if you're going to have multiple, like 2 speedsters, like in your series all the time.
You always notice every time they had more than one speedster, like whenever Wally was with Barry, something happened with one of their powers. So they were down for the count during a scene. It's like,
the one that I liked more is the Arrow and Roy Harper team up.
Love that.
I think they should stay with it.
Yeah, that's better because that's cost effective. They can actually do that. That's fine. That's why at one point, whenever they have like their team going in, they're like 5 or 6 people. It's like, because all they have is guns and arrows. Like, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah, when they're like season 5, they had like Black Canary. They had like
Wild Dog.
By the way, how does he get his hair just like within 2 seconds? Like, whew.
Oh, Mr. Terrific? Who knows? Yeah. I was also wondering, too, like, at one point, I remember when there was, like, that one arc, the Thanatonus or something guild in season 6, where Thea comes back and then Roy's back and he has the cap on or whatever. And it's like, this is such a weird thing, but I also love it. Because it's not really costing them really to do all this crazy stunt stuff because it's just, they have to CGI the arrows. That's it. Like, everything else, it's just, okay, it's in the moment. That's it. It's cool. They did tease. Well, they teased the monkey. They didn't tease Wonder Twins specifically.
They actually did tease Wonder Twins. They said in the 500th episode, the 100th episode of The Flash, Earbard says, "Where are you, Don or Don?" What
yeah.
Yeah, they tweezed them.
Yeah. Of course, that went nowhere. Of course.
Yeah, that went absolutely. They should. As soon as they moved up the date of her pregnancy in season 9, it should have been twins.
The Wonder Twins appeared in Smallville.
Yes, they did, but not comic book accurate.
No, Zatanna was in Smallville as well.
Comic book accurate,
very, very comic book accurate.
There's a lot of characters that they could have brought in the Arrowverse for some reason that they just didn't. And I just don't understand because Zatanna's one of them. Like, why?
Yeah,
like,
why not?
Yeah. In Smallville, there wasn't much like a Team Smallville. It was more like Young Justice, which was kind of like Superman, Green Arrow, and like on occasionally it spreads out to Bart, Hawkman, and other heroes.
Yeah, when they had the 2-part crossover with JSA, they had Dr. Fate, Hawkman, and Stargirl.
Dr. Fate looked amazing. I think I've seen that episode. That was like, he looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this just proves that we need not obviously Dr. Fate looked great in Black Adam, but like I want a Dr. Fate show.
Me too.
This one had eyes.
Yeah. God, Dr. Fate.
And Michael Shanks as Hawkman was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Dr. Fate is cooler than Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Dr. Fate's amazing, and I feel like he's underused. But I do think they handled Dr. Fate pretty well within Young Justice. Like, they have a whole entire thread of storylines throughout the beginning of the show up to season 4 of what they were doing with that character. I'm like, this is good, because a lot of animated shows or animated projects, they don't touch Dr. Fate, and I wonder if it's like they don't know what to do with the character. I'm like, there's many things you do. Look at the comics. Look the power base.
They don't look at the comics, man.
A lot of them don't know. I'm hoping that with James Gunn promoting comics is that he's implying they're going to be pushing comics whenever they make shit.
What's funny is when they added Martian Manhunter in Smallville, I honestly did only recognize Martian Manhunter because of what he left behind, which is an Oreo cookie. Because that's like his favorite treat. Yeah. I was like, oh, they're doing it.
Smallville did a lot. Smallville did a lot.
Yep. Sorry, I was trying to say that.
No, it's okay.
When you mentioned Young Justice, that's interesting how Dr. Fate had a big role, because that's the reason why my sister was excited for Black Adam, because, Dr. Fate was in it. She loved that character and that storyline. Mm-hmm. So that's why you're right that he needs more exposure, like every other character that's not Batman or Superman or
exactly. That's why I'm hopeful for the DCU, because we're getting Hawkgirl, which is not really well known unless you've watched the Justice League animated series, unless you watch the Arrowverse. She's a barista, don't forget. Metamorpho, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific. I mean, these are characters you would never expect to be in a Superman movie. And I'm like, right. I'm hopeful that this is implying that we're getting heavy hitters. Obviously, we got Batman coming, but we're gonna get some characters that you were not expecting, that no one knows, and that's the beauty of it. Because for a lot of people, they have no idea. This is their first introduction to these characters. So,
and also the guy who plays him is like awesome. Like, he's from the Arrowverse. He's also from Gotham.
Yeah.
He's from
His Victor Zsasz was amazing in Gotham. He was so good at that.
I know. I loved him.
He was honestly one of the better parts of that show, because he wasn't in it enough, but when he popped up, you knew it was going to be fun.
Yep.
Because he's a killer, but he's fucking weird. He's
he was also the Mist in the Flash.
Yeah. I remember one time, I think he misfired his gun. He's like, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. Victor, how you doing, man?
Trigger finger.
Yeah, I like the fact, because when they introduced the Mist with him in the Flash, like, it was interesting, because Barry had never fought a villain like that up to that point. Like that, I think that was the beauty of season 1. Obviously, with introducing the Flash, you got to like throw a bunch of curveballs at him, but he was fighting villains that were so like odd, but it makes sense, because you have speed. You have the Speed Force. You can run real fast. You can phase through shit when Reverse Flash teaches you. But you don't know actually how to fight these people, because your speed is not going to stop the Mist.
Yep.
Like in a proper sense, you can't stop him.
Do you think they're going to try to do the Outsiders?
Yes. They already have, 2 of them cast?
They have 3 of them. Well,
3,
they
technically
have Batman, Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho.
Well, yeah, I think they might be setting up the Outsiders.
Because all they're missing is 3.
Yeah.
What it looks like.
I think that we're going to get, look, we have the Authority coming. That pretty much shows you that this is not going to be reminiscent or similar to the DCEU.
Right.
What if Authorities is going to introduce the other 3 members?
It's possible. But the Authority, they have to be careful. They have to introduce a whole new team, a whole new set, a set of characters one's ever heard of. They have to be careful of not stacking that movie too much. I bet that movie will have Superman in it. I bet.
Yeah.
To show the interconnection, or Guy Gardner.
Or the early rumor was that the Authority was going to be the villain in Superman Legacy.
And then James Gunn came out and said that was false rumors he threw out there to find out who's spreading leaked information, which of course, who took the bait?
Grace Randolph.
She took the bait and she ran with it. And it's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, I knew it.
I mean, I'd be okay if one of the Authority members show up to set up the conflict with Superman.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel that's what they're setting up in the Authority movie. Per se, it would be great if Superman is the antagonist in that movie.
Yeah, because James Gunn said, like, they are anti-heroes, but they will do what they think is right to get stuff done. They don't care about the consequences or what others think. Mm-hmm. So that will definitely go against a lot of what heroes believe. And
especially Superman.
And if you think about it, the Authority is Stephen Amell.
Oh, crap. Full circle.
Full circle. Back to the beginning.
Had to do it. Man. Oh,
wow.
So there's that.
I don't think he will do it, but it would be kind of hilarious if Stephen Amell was Batman.
just the full circle thing where he was, because someone posted a few weeks back saying, I love it when Batman has like Batman photos with him with the eyeliner without his mask on, and you see like Robert Pattinson, you see Ben Affleck, you see someone else, and then you see Stephen Amell with the paint on his face.
It would be kind of funny because Arrow is technically like a Dark Knight version of Batman, just with green leather.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was. And
I'm not complaining. I love it.
Nope, not yet.
Love it.
Same.
Okay. Okay, guys. I think we're gonna call it in a few minutes because it's over 2.5 hours, and my wife is leaving for a 12-hour drive. I'm not going, but I have to get up at 2:00, and it's already 11 now. So it's gonna be.
It's gonna be a day.
Yeah, because I gotta try to go back to sleep because I gotta work tomorrow.
Oh,
so, should have took the day off. I didn't think about it. Get Chainsaw to finally watch about. Well, I don't have time for 10 seasons of a show. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't even have time for a season of a show that I have on my Netflix list that I've had for over a year.
How about 3, 8, 9, and 10?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was like literally at a used bookstore this past weekend, and they had randomly Volume 7 of Smallville Season 11 in comic form, and that's
nice.
Like that's random because I know they did like multiple graphic novels. They part Volume 1, Volume 2, like so Volume 7. I'm like I would get Volume 1 if they had it here, but they don't have it. All they have is like 2 copies of Volume 7. I'm like, this is weird. Like,
have you heard anything else about the possible animated spin-off of Smallville?
No, but
all I've heard of Michael Rosenbaum talking about is like it's still in development.
Okay, I hope so.
I wonder if they. I mean, I guess it just depends. Like, I'm assuming it would get a lot of people's attention if they made it.
Mm-hmm.
But is it going to be beneficial? Because I'm assuming, because just James Gunn and Peter like they cannot agree to anything. They can say they're going to do it, but David Zaslav, who runs the company Warner Bros. Discovery, will make the decision on what gets made.
Exactly.
So he signs the check. So
and I think they said it will be kind of like a season 11 drawn tie-in because of the animation. And they think they can do more, and they will try to get the original voice actors to play the same character.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the way to go about it, obviously.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Except for Chloe.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Even though she was just released, I think last week or the week before.
Yeah, they'll probably avoid that.
Probably.
No, we're good. Don't need it. We're good.
No touchy.
Oh my god. All right. I think we're going to call it, guys. I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you, 3W, Sean, and Amazing Webhead for hanging out. I mean, it's funny because my wife got home and she's like, "You going to stream tonight?" I'm like, "No." And then I was thinking about like, well, if I just reach out to people, see if anybody's available, if they want to stream and hang out. I don't fucking know. Because I haven't. Huh?
No, needs a vent about Stephen Amell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just can't. I was just like, I'm just going to ask and see who wants to hang out. And then all of a sudden it's like Sean reached out immediately, and then W was like, why not? Like, I don't know if this is going to work. Who cares? Just wing it. Who gives a shit? And I think this is actually pretty damn cool.
I mean, so it was fun.
This would be my first multiverse travel to your channel.
Oh yeah, multiverse travel. Yeah,
we've always come to the Party Nation, but we haven't done reverse.
Yeah, it's fun, and I'm definitely going to be streaming more because my wife's going to be gone till next Monday, so
cool.
I'll have a couple of days of like relaxation.
Nice,
and I'll have to work too, so that's good. So I have to work tomorrow, but then no more work until Tuesday. So thank God. But all right. 3W, where can people find you?
Over on Lance Ringgold's channel, Party Nation.
Party Nation.
Every Tuesday at 5 p.m.
What's your X Twitter handle?
X Twitter handle is 3W Edits.
There you go. Sean, where can people find you?
Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter. Official 3WP.
Okay. Yes. I knew it was something. Sean, where can people find you?
I'm at Sean Stackhouse Reacts on YouTube and at Sean Stackhouse on X.
That's
it's so hard, man.
Yeah. Amazing Webhead. Where people? I know you have a Twitter account, right? Where can people find you?
Yeah. You can follow me on X on Webhead 15. But it's also Amazing Webhead, and also my YouTube channel, Amazing Webhead. I do a lot of edits for franchises, so.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to call it quits. I'm going to hit that end broadcast button. One of the longest streams, almost 3 hours. Jesus Christ. We need lives, people. Anyways, bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.